and it was
Yo.
never used. I had a
Stream
55-inch
elements.
here mounted up here.
Scrappy DP
And
is now
I said, that's
live.
stupid. There was a lot of
Streaming
Zelda on
Apex
that TV.
Legends.
That's where I played the
December
entire game.
28th,
And then I have my work desk here,
2023
just kind of in
idiot.
the middle of the room on wheels, and I went full minimalism on this thing. Nothing except the stuff that I need, and I love this desk. I ended up having to build half the desk. Throughout the process, I think this desk had like 3 or 4 different orientations. And I've landed on here for now, but it will probably move again. I think I need to do a desk tour of this desk. Let's do one of both. I'm gonna do a desk tour of my gaming desk and go over all of the equipment that I use, and that'll go on this channel. Probably, I don't know, maybe I'll just shoot this one next. And then I think I'll do like my own personal desk setup on the new tech channel that we started that I haven't told you about.
And already 400 subscribers almost.
And already 400 subscribers on the channel with one video that's never been announced. I'm okay with that. That's a good start. I will let you know what that channel is, and I'll link to it when that video is done in the next month or two. Some of you found it, but I'm gonna keep it a secret from the rest of you for a little bit. Yeah, I got 2 of the Amaran color lights hanging from the ceiling, pointing at each wall. That way, whichever way the camera's facing, we can get some color on the set, whatever we need. But this room still isn't done. I'm still working on some really big updates, and I'm really excited for. Here's actually some renders of the big light fixture that I'm working on right now. Next year, 2024 office tour. Have some real updates for you. Let's move out this door to the main space. This was a very poorly used space last time we did the studio tour, and it is much better used now. I gutted everything in this space. We had so many desks that were never used. I replaced all of the light fixtures myself. Ended up building Dustin what I believe to be a godlike editing desk.
Don't touch my big knob.
I won't touch the big knob. I don't know if a lot of you know this. Dustin went part-time about 6 months ago.
Yep.
Yeah, unfortunate circumstances. But anyway, he went part-time, and so I've been slowly trying to bribe him. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate my bribery?
It's probably like a 8.5.
An 8.5?
Yeah.
Horsehair platform sit desk is insane. Like, it's that. The extenders to each side. 8-foot just monstrosity of a desk. Are you happy with the Mega Desk decision?
Mega desk is the way to go. I just like having so much empty space.
Motorized sitting and standing, super expandable with like a railing system and a bunch of headboards, and then added a couple little things to it to make the life of an editor a little bit easier. You have little like 3-inch speakers that I got on Amazon before this, and then while he was out, I upgraded to the Mackie 6-inch monitors, and so he came back into the studio the next day, and it just sit down at what probably felt like just complete overhaul.
He's starting to take care of his editor. We'll see if I go.
He's starting to take care of his editor? That might be the world's greatest audio setup for an editor ever. So again, thank you, Mackie, for sponsoring this video and sending those. It feels almost ridiculous, but they're so good. And then the last thing on the desk is those monitors are being controlled by the Mackie Big Nog. Big Nog? You got the Mackie Big Nog that is Big Nog. Big Knob. Why is it so hard to say? Big Knob, Big Knob, Big Knob, Big Knob. Oh. So we gotta fix it up with some nice aesthetics now that we got the functionality set up. But this is editing desk number 2.
Used it in the Obsbot video.
We did, yeah. We used this desk in the Obsbot video for all the B-roll stuff, and it turned out great. The desk next to his desk is mostly a set desk. We shoot a lot of product shots there, but it's also super functional if we ever need another desk. It's got a Mac Mini with a killer Zoom call setup just already built into it. And so if we ever have like a second editor coming by, maybe a guest editor on a big project, they can set up right there. I'm going to say something that's going to sound really first world problems. I hate this table. I hate this table so much. It is ungodly heavy and so impractical. Like the desks are, the legs are separate from it.
Maybe that table is just heavy because you're out of shape.
Oh, we're in the middle of a massive project right now. I'm building a giant acoustic light fixture for my studio in that room. And so all of this underneath it is either boxes for monitors or stuff for building that, or like you see the LED strips on top. But this desk is especially for like holding onto gear that we're shooting videos. Soon. We don't even need it. It's probably not interesting. We're probably going to cut all that out.
Are you gonna cut all that out?
Maybe.
All right.
The last desk in the space is mostly just for powering those 3 TVs that I've yet to use in a set, but we'll do it. That's phase 2, but it's also multifunctional. They all gotta serve multiple purposes if I'm gonna clean this place up. So it's also a gaming desk. I've got Orthrus chilling there under the desk. If you don't remember, that's my 2-in-1 PC setup with 2 actual full-on PCs inside one chassis and Orthrus, which I definitely didn't have to Google it. Took it off the top of my head. And so whenever Destiny 9 needed a little gaming break in the middle of the day, it's ready to go. Also, ridiculous, also powered by those gigantic master speakers. So again, if a second editor comes in and needs to work with professional audio, oh, got that desk one.
This is a kitchenette. And by kitchenette, I mean it's a table with a microwave and paper towels and water bottles.
Where's the mini fridge?
What do you want first? Do you want a better entertainment system or do you want a mini fridge?
Mini fridge.
Mini fridge.
Then, like, I can actually bring a lunch and put it in there and eat it later.
Well, if you worked in here, maybe I'd get you a fridge.
Yeah.
Work, spend our time on your desk.
I'm just trying to, like, see how far I can
What do you have to
go.
pay
Now
for
that he's
your
giving me this, like, come on.
This is what I work with. This is how good of an editor you know someone is when I'll put up with this.
We managed to take what we did with like 6 desks in the original setup and do it with like 3 desks in this setup.
We didn't really go over this in the last studio tour very much. The gear space. We got a microphone shelf that's become so packed that they're just starting to pile on each other. As well as the interface. I feel like audio. I have so much audio stuff.
And if I can get real nerdy with you guys, just get real deep in this, every one of these desks is hooked up with 10 gigabit Ethernet connected to a central NAS, or basically an 80 terabyte hard drive in my server room, my storage room.
That's hopefully a video coming soon. We're completely switching out the way our NAS works, but the editing off the NAS with 10 gig connection from anywhere in the space is huge if we want to start collaborating on products and like on projects and editing together on things, which is what I want to do on future channels that we're working on.
Full transparency, I don't do a lot of editing these days, but Dustin and I have plans to start like 2 or 3 more channels this year. So there's a part of me that's got the itch to tinker with some projects, probably just make Dustin's life.
So this is a secret light switch, by the way, going into the recording studio. Since the last video, we had to make a rule where if Ryan is in there working, because I can't tell he's in there working, that's a giant concrete box underneath my garage. And so if Ryan's in there working, I have no idea. And one day I was over there in this room working at like 1 in the morning, and I thought I was alone in my home. I don't think I was wearing pants. And then like Ryan walks out of here at 1 a.m. He'd been streaming in the studio, and I had no idea. I was like, oh, I didn't want that to happen again. It could have been a lot worse. When Ryan's in there, the light is on. When he's not in there, the light is off. I mean, might as well just take a look.
As well.
For those of you that missed the last tour, since the last tour, we've shot a bunch of stuff in here. I think we had just finished building the space when we shot the last tour, but we had Toronto come in here, we had Foosley come in here, we shot a bunch of music videos and recorded a bunch of stuff in here. Just you can hear the difference. I wonder if you can hear it in the lab, the difference.
You probably can.
Just how quiet this room is. This space is so cool.
You see, you did it to yourself, though, by bribery, because it's like, look at Ryan's space compared to, like, your editor's space.
Oh, so that's why you don't come in, because you feel neglected compared to Ryan's space?
That's why I went part-time.
But the last kind of made-over area in this space is probably the unboxing area. And this was a thing where, like, a couple minor changes completely changed the space. The main space where I shot everything. Just super cramped. It was the only place in this whole space I could film. And I have actually gone back there and shot some videos over there recently. Like, I love that this space becomes so versatile that I can now shoot almost anywhere.
We shot the Senpai merch around in here, too.
Yeah, we did the merch. We didn't have any footage of that. We didn't have any footage of that.
We gotta,
We're learning with each drop.
We need to get better at doing that. Would you guys even be interested in seeing like ETS stuff, like, you know? Because we could do it, we just need to think harder about doing it, so.
Yeah, I'm so focused on the ITS in front of the scene.
There you go. That's a new one.
But that area has turned into a well-oiled unboxing machine, and mostly, big thing is
This, we got Butcher Block number 3. as well as my Invisalign that I took out to film this. Don't close up on that.
Why is Butcher Block so beautiful? It's perfect anywhere. You can't go wrong with Butcher Block. Just comparing unboxings side by side, like it brought so much warmth and so much life to those top-down shots. I also added extra sound treatment to the TV wall because that area was just a giant rectangular box.
You're probably still hearing that it's pretty bouncy.
But that whole space is just so much more usable now.
What about that other room?
Oh, you don't want to. That's not a.
That was supposed to be my space.
That was going to be the editing room. That was a. Nobody wanted to work in there, and so it's become like a little home gym. What if this?
We got to move if we're gonna get to the edge.
Channel? And we just started working out for like 3 hours a day. Channel shift.
Yes. Let us know.
We found our new direction.
Fuck it, we're going the wrong way. We're going the wrong way. We're going the wrong way. We can't make it this way.
Call it Senpai Gaming Fitness.
We're gonna go all the way back down. I can fly us if we have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have to fly, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is a perfect segue into the transfer from phase
We
1
might make this.
to phase 2.
Cut
It
through
was
this guy
so
down to the left, and then we gotta cut
frustrating
back left
to finally
again.
finish this space and be so proud of it, and then realize that 90% of it was just unusable space, entirely due to my own fault. I've spent this entire last year trying to fix the lack of functionality in this studio. Make this room larger, add more places that I can shoot, or build a good space for Dustin to be able to edit and shoot B-roll.
So the goal is to make this the envy of all the land of YouTube. I think this space is going to look completely different by the end of 2024. And I want to have some really cool comparisons before and after.
But it's getting to a good, usable place. And
Yeah,
that
we're
was
good
the
now.
core of
I was gonna
phase
make sure
1
nobody
for
else
the
is coming
past
on
year.
our side.
Phase 2 starts in 2024 when I get back from my holiday, which I'm leaving for in 6 hours. Wish me luck. But phase 2 is giving this space life, fixing the sterileness of this space. I'm spending 2024 making this space a place that's fun to be in, a place that's fun to work in, a place that's fun to shoot in.
Where's the sledgehammer?
Sledgehammer?
Yeah. Are you gonna break something for phase 2?
Break. What if we broke this?
The real marble.
Yeah, I mean, I need to throw this out anyway.
This is like.
So if you want to join along for this gigantic undertaking of finally building the perfect YouTube studio, hit the subscribe button down below. I'd love to have you there. While you're down there, hit the like button and leave a comment if you have any thoughts on the space. Maybe some ideas. I'd love some ideas. And if you don't have any ideas, just leave your favorite emoji or engagement. Thank you for that. And as always, happy streaming.
Apple got their watch ban overturned. Google also creating some green bubbles and the best of AMD yet to come. Let's get into the hot news on this Thursday, December 28th, 2020.
Let's go down and get eyes from the side.
Talking about the headline for yesterday, which was discussing Apple's
This part we
ban
don't
on
need
their
to.
smartwatches being available to be sold in the United States. You could no longer import them. You could only get them from third-party retailers like Best Buy and Amazon. But now a U.S. appeals court has paused that ban for at least 2 weeks until January 10th while Apple tries to sort all of this out. Specifically, they're going to wait until the U.S. Customs and Border Protection decides as to whether or not the redesigned Apple Watches are still violating Massimo's patents or if they're clear to be sold here in the United States yet again. That decision should be reached by January 12th, and now there is a deadline of January 10th for Apple to stop selling their watches again. They already stopped selling these watches last week, so it's not clear if they're going to start reselling them in their own Apple stores or if they're just going to make this so that they can continue to bring them in again for those third-party stores. Like Amazon and Best Buy, we'll keep you updated as this progresses, but it is strange to see that Apple lost in this instance and now they are trying to work around getting all of that done. But I'm not going to work around that. We have a video sponsor for today. Today's video is sponsored by Banta. Banta is a compliance automation and trust management platform that helps businesses of all sizes manage risk and improve security in real time. Being responsible for security at a startup can be overwhelming, and that's where Vanta's continuous monitoring comes in. Vanta automates compliance monitoring for your most critical programs and workflows. By streamlining vendor security reviews and asset discovery, you can quickly find and eliminate points of unauthorized access and proactively address potential threats. And because Vanta automates up to 90% of the work for SOC 2, ISO 27001, and more, you'll be able to focus on strategy and security, not maintaining compliance. You can see why over 6,000 companies like Chili Piper, Patch, and Autodesk use Vanta to manage risk and improve security in real time. So you can click our link in the video description, vanta.com/UFD, to watch Vanta's 3-minute demo video. Again, go to vanta.com/UFD to check out the video. Big thanks again to Vanta for sponsoring today's video. Just like Apple's getting served up some judicial system, it looks like Google is serving up a taste
We're in
of
here, just hang
Apple
out.
medicine with their latest update to their messaging app. One of the features that people were excited about was that you can now customize the colors in Google Messages. But it turns out it has the exact same limitation that Apple does in iMessage. You cannot set these custom colors if you happen to be conversing with somebody on SMS and MMS. If you were conversing by RCS, you can do all of this. If you're conversing by regular text messaging, well, then
Hit 'em both.
it looks exactly like this. So, Apple users
Yeah, get out
on
while you can.
Android
You're
will
good.
now have a completely different look to them, just like Android users have that look on iMessage. Green bubbles now for Android, even though they're white bubbles, it's different. It's a different color, but the idea is the same. No customization, and everything has to look different. You're gonna know when somebody has an Android that doesn't support RCS. But it looks like every single video platform out there is going to be supported by ads, because Amazon Prime announcing that Prime Video will start to get ads as of January 29th, or you can pay $2.99 to the service in order to avoid them altogether. This is coming after a long history of Amazon just wrangling Prime Video into your Amazon Prime subscription, which has different benefits on top of that, such as the fact that you get cheaper shipping. You're able to do a few other things. Like there's even Prime Music and Prime Reading that you can do. There are extemporaneous benefits.
Swap
to
my
Prime
shield out.
membership.
My
Prime
shield's
Video is
full.
one of them, and now they're adding ads.
Swap to my
into
shield.
there.
My
I
shield is full. The
personally
one that I left.
not of the mindset that this bothers me, especially because it's a tacked-on feature. I don't pay for Amazon Prime for Prime Video. It's just like a nice add-on. I probably won't spend the $2.99, but I also know that certain countries, like at least earlier on in South Africa, when they wanted to watch the Grand Tour, because they couldn't get the Amazon Prime membership, they had to pay for Prime Video separately, and that was a $2.99. I think it was a $3 charge, so it's not clear how that's going to affect other countries like that. But what has affected some of your beloved consoles is Nintendo. They are shutting down the online playability for the Wii U and 3DS way earlier than they actually said. Some users are experiencing that they are not able to online play. What was some really important online games for the 3DS? Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. You can't do that anymore online. What?
He claimed an update was coming within a week. This was almost 3 months ago. The Telos Twitter account hasn't been updated in well over a year, but he recently opened a Telos Blue Sky page, which has made one post with a poster for a new movie supposedly coming in 2024, which isn't The Listener or any of the previously mentioned films. Every time I look in on Telos, I find no updates on what's happening, but I do find out about a new movie they announced. The website is currently claiming another new film called The Sub, estimated release 2023, is in pre-production. Better get a move on then. Telos keeps announcing new projects with a new poster to go with it, consisting of a stock photo with text over it, and then not making any of them. This one's already being used for a real show that exists. He keeps putting text on stock photos and pretending it's a real film in pre-production. It doesn't exactly inspire confidence how fast new films are being dreamed up. One of them even had a teaser consisting entirely of stock footage, only to never be spoken of again. This one isn't even mentioned on the website at all anywhere. Movies take time to make, even short indie films, and for the record so do video essays, but the lack of updates on what is happening, or which film is even being made, is a little disconcerting. Continuing the trend of James's work not really being his, we need to talk about Final Girl, the first project which was cancelled. Final Girl was at one point coming this fall, which at the time was 2022. The people who funded this film were told to expect it by autumn last year. They got pretty far on this one. In late June, James tweeted the script was done. But then, all of a sudden, James moved on to The Listener and the 5 other films he started since then. But unlike many of James's other announced projects, which still have a poster and a tentative release date on the site, Final Girl disappeared completely. What happened to it? He gave up because
Sorry, I
it was
blew it.
to Nova Scotia
I know that
and he
fucker
had
was
to move
there.
to find assets. But there could be another reason. The name and synopsis of Final Girl are extraordinarily close to a book which already exists, The Final Girl Support Group by Graydon Hendricks. I wonder if Somerton is aware of the similarity. It would be weird if he wasn't, because it was one of his favourite books of 2021. He started the Indiegogo with this short film idea a few months after
Turn
making
back
this
and
post.
cover him.
You'll be shocked to discover that something of James's turned out to be stolen and evaporated. The 18-month journey of Telos consists of Somerton being paid $65,000 to make a dozen fake movie posters. So far, James has ripped off bloggers, novelists, authors, anyone who writes text for a living, really. Oh, and Wikipedia, and AMVs, because watching Korra for himself was too much effort, apparently. If you're queer and you wrote something good, no you didn't, but now we need to talk about the time he somehow went even further than that. Let's talk about the time he ripped off another gay YouTuber. Remember Unrequited, the video that ripped off the Celluloid Closet and plagiarized Peter Howell? Before any of the Celluloid Closet stuff had even been discovered, James had already been caught ripping off someone else with the same video. How? How are there still more? A later section covered examples of queerbaiting in various TV shows, including BBC's Merlin, the recent Teen Wolf TV series, and Sherlock, whatever that is. But people began to notice these sections were suspiciously similar to one another YouTuber had already made. Alexander Avila, whose channel used to be called Are They Gay, has a series of videos exploring the queer implications between characters in various shows, and he's covered Merlin, Teen Wolf, and Sherlock. The
truths that you need to look out for. Build wealth by investing in 2 things primarily: businesses and bricks, by which I mean shares and property. Those are the things that have made wealth for people for centuries.
As a beginner myself, I have all of my investments in index funds. They just invest in the entire economy, and I just sort of set it.
YouTube Shorts are gonna kill YouTube, and your favorite creators are likely going down with it. Hello Internet, welcome to Game Theory, where it's the end of the year, and that means one thing and one thing only. Our annual review of the digital video landscape, a state of the union, if you will. You get what I did there? I made the U of union into the U of YouTube. No. Hey, please don't click off. I'm so sorry. I get it. The pun was really bad, but trust me, the stuff that we're gonna be talking about today is too important to let a dumb joke like that just scare you off. You see, it's been a weird year on YouTube, my friends. To casual viewers, it probably seemed like business as usual, but under the hood, this year has been the single biggest year of upheaval the platform's ever seen. And it all has its roots in one word: Shorts. Shorts officially launched on YouTube at the end of 2020. After a lukewarm intro on the platform, outright pay people to make them. No one really took them seriously still. In 2023, YouTube started pushing them hard. Now when you open your homepage on desktop, you see Shorts. When you open your phone to pick a video, oh, you just randomly showed up in the Shorts feed. Sometimes when you're watching YouTube on the TV and it's like, here, would you like to watch a short on a TV with a totally different aspect ratio? Sure, why not? To creators, this surge has had some devastating ripple effects. When you go to the homepage and suddenly 50% of the screen is dominated by short-form video, it means your long-form content gets shared less. At the top of the year, YouTube basically mandated that if you want your channel to continue to be successful, shorts have to be part of your video strategy. That's kind of an issue when it's a format that takes time and effort to make, but basically earns you $0. I cannot overstate how these changes are currently devastating to mid-sized. The number of creators that I personally know who've repeatedly for them because of these unexplained view drops, who dedicated their lives to build small businesses around making long-form videos, but are now struggling to get by as their views disappear overnight. Channels who don't have the money or resources to just work in a couple of extra spare videos so that their views return to normal. That right there, it's a big issue. But while mid-sized creators are feeling it now, I suspect that all creators will likely be suffering similar consequences in another year or two. And that is what I want to talk about today. Now, normally this would be a dramatic Matt chat on the couch, but
They're all coming here. There's an entire fucking whole squadron. Do not land here. Do not land here. I'm not landing here.
Through the long-term effects of this change. The forceful push into short-form content affects you as an audience, it affects the platform of YouTube, and honestly, it affects how all of us are engaging with videos, whether or not we realize it. And ironically enough, despite shorts exposing you to more creators than ever before, if things continue going down this path, I suspect that they'll be the thing that kills off the entire idea of being a creator in the first place. So let's just start by pulling off the band-aid early, friends. Shorts aren't just there to be another super fun creative outlet for channels or a fun new experience for the viewer. They're here to compete with TikTok. Full stop, end of sentence. Back around 2015, YouTube was measuring video success based on watch minutes, which meant the longer your video was, the more likely you were to rack up minutes on the platform and win big. People who didn't want to make long video essays counting animatronic toes or listing every editing mistake in Suicide Squad, they lost out in this sort of system. Sketch comedy and animation both suffered hard in this era because, well, neither of them are particularly long-form genres. They're expensive to make and they're difficult to script for 10, 20-minute periods. But you know who else was suffering during this era? The viewer. People who only had a few minutes at a time to watch videos between classes at school or during breaks at work. They couldn't do that using YouTube. It's not like you're sending your bestie a 25-minute video for the lulz, which meant that there was a very clear gap in the marketplace. People wanted short videos and needed a place to watch them. Luckily, there was one platform ready to fill that need, Vine. But when Vine just completely dropped the ball with a series of repeated self-imposed errors, TikTok was there to pick up that ball, run with it, and then just score all the touchdowns. TikTok landed in the US in 2016 and became a social video juggernaut by 2019. It understood that people wanted short, cheap, easy-to-produce content that was shareable. You know, the stuff that made YouTube so popular back in the mid-2000s. Almost like history's repeating itself. Anyway, by 2020, TikTok had all the cool songs with no copyright striking. It had all the view numbers that looked way bigger than YouTube. And most importantly of all, they had the viewers between the ages of 13 and 18. The most important demographic on the planet for any social media platform. And you see, it's that last point that has YouTube so scared. If you're a viewer between the ages of 13 and 18, congratulations, you have the world's largest corporations all fighting for your attention. Why? Well, I want you to think back to some of the things that you were a big fan of in your life. The biggest movies, the best music artists, your favorite anime. When did you first become a fan of them? The truth is that you can become a fan of anything, anytime. I'm a huge believer in that. But statistically speaking, many of our most memorable fandoms emerge when we're teenagers. This isn't just because we're all so young and impressionable either, there's actually a lot more science to it. There's a whole field of study dedicated to adolescent identity, so I'm just going to be raising the tip of the iceberg here, but TLDR of all of it is that adolescent boys between 13 and 18 are working real hard at crafting a persona for themselves out of the vast universe of things they can be. It's really hard work, actually, which is why when we're teenagers, our brains can tell us to do really cringy things, like going through weird style phases, deciding that we hate people overnight, filming TikTok dances in public places. These people just haven't figured themselves out yet, okay? One way for the brain to fast-track this identity building is to attach to a celebrity that you admire, or a band that you love listening to, a show you love watching, or a creator online that you like. Instead of having to build your identity all by yourself, you can start with a character who already exists, and then use them as a kind of scaffolding for yourself. Now, it is normal to have fandoms all throughout your life, but the ones we participate in as tweens and teens become wound up in our actual real-world personalities, and not just for a little while either. A healthy fandom lasts on average about 9 years. So if you become a fan of something at the age of 14, on average, you could be a fan of that thing until you're 23. This is exactly the huge and important time of your life that all social platforms and entertainment franchises want to tap into, because if they get you early, they get you for a huge bulk of your prime spending years. Doesn't it feel great to know that your life is just reduced to a series of dollar signs? Regardless, a decade of loyalty, that right there is a lifetime in the world of online video, hence why this battle is so heated. Which brings us back to shorts. YouTube decided over the last couple years that they needed to bring the magic of TikTok to YouTube, and they've made it very clear to audiences and creators alike that this is the thing that you need to be engaging with. But is that so bad? I mean, I found a lot of shorts that I like this year. I think a lot of them are really fun. And if I'm being completely honest about making them, doing something that's shorter than a theory feels like a lot less pressure. It allows me to loosen up a bit. It's given us the chance to explore lots of topics that I wouldn't get to do otherwise. So what is the big issue? Well, outside of the fact that they lose money, don't translate to long-term viewers, very expensive long-form content, and feel like a pay-to-win model on YouTube, it's that having them on YouTube changes the platform in a way that doesn't help viewers. Making YouTube more like TikTok, it isn't just about changing the length of the videos. TikTok and YouTube function totally differently, and when you try to turn one into the other, there's gonna be a lot that happens under the surface. Let me just take you through what I mean. At its core, YouTube has always been a search engine, historically the second largest search engine in the world behind Google itself. Because of this, making videos on things that people search for, like movies, games, food, always worked fairly well. It's also worked Well, because you can search for specific creators that you're interested in. You go to their channel page and find a whole bunch of videos that you get from the same channel. But notice how I said that you, the viewer, have to do something to watch the videos. You have to open YouTube, obviously, but you also have to, at minimum, choose a video from the homepage. If you're not going to do that, well, now you have to search, which means that you have to know what you're searching for. You get a page of results, you scroll until you find the one that you want, you click it, and then you hope that you like it. After you watch that one video, you choose the next one from a suggested video feed. Or maybe you opt for the autoplay video, but let's be honest, are you really going to sit through yet another Skillshare promo at the end of that video? YouTube is an active watch experience. Viewers are constantly choosing what to watch. To be honest, actually a lot of work on that. I also do that to TikTok. What do you do on TikTok? You open the app. That's it. For the vast majority of people, the activity actually stops there. Most you gotta do from that point is a little thumb click when you want to move on to the next video. A video that the TikTok algorithm has pre-selected for you. This is a passive.
Dude, I'll craft you.
TikTok
That was
isn't designed
ridiculous.
for you to choose what to watch. It's designed for you to either like or not like what you're being served up. You can choose to search on TikTok, but it's not a super easy experience and it just sends you to another passive scroll. So what we're dealing with is an active platform of YouTube versus a passive platform of TikTok. What happens when YouTube now introduces
craft
Shorts,
you over
a
there.
passive watch experience into an active watching platform? Well, a few things. First, it's hard to
I only
blend
got
the
a
two
Mozambique.
experiences together.
It's
As a
like,
viewer,
dude,
it's
I don't
great
even know
to be
how
able
this
to do less
happens.
work and make fewer decisions when I want to be entertained, but once I'm in the Shorts feed, there's really no off-ramp to that. If I want to switch, I have to basically go back to the homepage and start back from square one, which is just a really jarring, poorly designed experience. But okay, other than being a little clunky, why is this so bad? Well, the issue is that when we're in a passive watch experience, we're still watching content, but we're missing a lot of the things around that content. And those things are the secret sauce that's made YouTube so successful for the past decade. Let me illustrate what I mean by telling you a true story from over here at Team Theorist. We recently hired a social media producer to produce social media. It's pretty self-explanatory. Shout out to our various TikToks, by the way. They totally slap, and they're only going to get better from here. Anyway, in that process, we interviewed dozens of candidates, and everyone who made it to that round was asked to tell us a couple of accounts that they love on TikTok that we wouldn't have heard of before. The point is to gauge the awareness of the platform. It's a question that we've asked for years when it comes to YouTube, and everyone that we've hired on has always had great answers. It's how I first became aware of the web design commentary of Juxtapose or the mayonnaise jello of Liam Thompson. Everyone has always had an answer, but when it comes to TikTok, a lot of the best interview candidates just couldn't do it. They could tell us everything that happened in individual videos, but they often had to really think in order to come up with the name of who made it. It's kind of like some sort of bizarre digital amnesia. This happened over and over again in the interviews. And you know what? We're not alone. When we like TikToks, we tell people, I have to show you this TikTok. Or, have you seen that one TikTok where the guy does the thing? We're not trying to de-identify the people as creators. Instead, the way the platform works picks creators on the occasion. It doesn't really matter who made the TikTok. I didn't choose it. It was over pretty fast, and for better or worse, the platform pushed me on to the next video. If I truly wanted to see who made it, well, it's available. It's just tiny over here, right down in the corner. We know YouTube creators we love because we actively have to search for them. We actively choose them from the homepage or suggested feeds. Their logo appears in lots of different places. We subscribe to them. We don't just follow them. Heck, they even have their own channel page. And while that might seem like a meaningless word, it really is YouTube's secret sauce. The channel pages make YouTube into a glorified web host. Each creator is their own website, their own channel that you visit to watch videos. The banner is theirs. The thumbnails are theirs. The titles are all chosen to fit their personal brand. But as soon as someone else or an algorithm is doing that choosing for us, we're separated from all that information. It's not important anymore. So the problem with placing everyone in a Shorts feed isn't just that now they're segregated on a platform, it's because it's removing the identity of the people who make the content. Historically, YouTube trends can spread over a huge number of creators, but the biggest creators in a trend tend to be memorable. 100 Layers Challenge, Simply Nailogical. Fidget Spinners, Colin's Key. Elephant Toothpaste, Mark Rober. Unboxing Toys, Ryan's World. Giving away lots of money, Mr. Beast. TikTok trends, though, they're not based on creators, they're based on de-identified formats. Trending audios, meme templates, personal style hacks, recipes, weird clothing. Actually remembering creator names on TikTok takes an incredible amount of thought and active watching, something that TikTok and YouTube Shorts, for that matter, are trying to discourage you from doing. And this actually makes a significant difference. In 2022, TikTok sponsored VidCon, one of the largest digital video industry events of the year where fans can have meet and greets with all their favorite creators. In years past, when the appearances were coming from YouTubers, the lines were packed. But in this particular year, many of the lines were empty, despite the creators having hundreds of thousands to millions of followers on TikTok. As Simply Messa15 put it,
did anyone else notice that so many influencers with over 500,000, over 1 million followers had empty lines at VidCon? TikTok completely killed the concept of influencers. I feel like it's so easy to gain a following on here, but that doesn't actually mean that it's going to translate into, like, fandom, I guess.
And that right there is the big point in all of this. While YouTube is busy winning back the 13 to 18 demographic from TikTok right now, the trade-off of those views could be steeper than anyone thinks. Remember what we talked about at the beginning of the episode about how those teen fandoms end up sticking with you for a long time? What happens when your platform doesn't foster those fandoms anymore? When you don't know who any of the creators are because you've never picked any of the videos that you're watching? When there's no channels with no communities around them? There's no people associated with the trends? It just becomes the scroll, the feed. Without fandoms and channel communities, YouTube can pull in all the viewers it wants, but it won't be making any new fans. In our social producer interviews, almost all the candidates said at one point or another, I'm a fan of TikTok, which sounds like a pretty normal thing to say, but think about that. Like, isn't it kind of weird? They're fans of the platform, not of any specific creator. When you talk about YouTube, it's relatively rare to hear someone say, I'm a fan of YouTube, you know, the website. That's probably how it should be. I love this platform. I've dedicated over a decade of my life to it, but I'm more a fan of the people who are on it. Right now, I'm a big fan of Max Fosh and Moist Critical. Steph is a fan of Caroline Winkler and the Dumb Dads. Real people doing real content that they deserve credit for. Being a fan of a platform, on the other hand, it's being a fan of a corporate entity, maybe at best a fan of an algorithm. Going back to our job candidates again, who have apparently now just become a bunch of unwitting test subjects, a huge proportion of them said, unprompted, I'm a fan of TikTok, and it is super unhealthy. Or, I'm totally addicted to TikTok. It's definitely bad how much time I spend on there. Over here at Team Theorist, people who use TikTok are pretty open about the fact that they like the platform, but it's also less of a fandom and more of an addiction. Except again, notice the words that are being used. Being a fan of something and being addicted to something, they're not the same. The fact that we as people don't always seem to be able to tell the difference there, it's pretty unsettling, but that's neither here nor there. What this all shows is that in absence of having the ability to get you emotionally invested, platforms are having to use psychological attacks to make you dependent on them. We spent a whole video talking about addiction pathways and TikTok content a couple months ago. If you haven't seen that video, definitely check it out after this, where I basically talk about the way that your brain feels addicted to scrolling content and receives little boosts of dopamine every time you see a new TikTok. The problem comes, though, when we mistake being a fan of something for just being hooked on it. That's a lot to lay at the feet of YouTube when it comes to shorts, so it's only fair to acknowledge the boat that they're in. In order to stay relevant and continue growing the viewership of YouTube over the years, there have to be more new people watching the platform. For its long-term survival, YouTube needs to win this battle against TikTok and earn back some of that 13 to 18 demographic. From a creative perspective, I'm rooting for them, but I also speculate that YouTube is trading off short-term gains for long-term loyalty. Sure, in the short term, Shorts seems to be a great idea for the platform. Using Shorts, you directly attack TikTok's main format. You get the same music deals, you mimic the functionality of the app, you even create a For You page that definitely reads as a little desperate, but hey, it probably works. You set all of that up, and suddenly, you're bringing in new viewers. You start addicting them. You start training them to care less about individual creators. You know what? First glance, that seems like a big old win for YouTube. That's what creators do. They get canceled. They burn mattresses in their yard. They make inappropriate statements, and then YouTube has to answer for all their problems to advertisers. Creators also stop uploading. They burn out. They take breaks, and they always inevitably go out of style. But you know what doesn't burn out? The scroll. The passive feed never stops updating. No one cares if one of the creators they've been scrolling past gets in trouble or does something bad, because there's just another one behind them. Any problematic behavior gets erased because no one ever knew the creator's name in the first place. But the long-term picture is less rosy here. People don't develop fan relationships with the passive feed, they develop addictions to it. That doesn't bode all that well for the long-term health of TikTok and YouTube Shorts, for the people watching them or for the people making them. In the end, no one ends up winning. YouTube's secret sauce when it comes to content has always been its direct creator-to-viewer relationship, and the ability to form deep communities that grow overnight and can last for years. When the scrolling stops, what's left are the channels and creators and shows that have made a difference in your life, who related to you in a way that was memorable, and who put you in the middle of a community of people where you felt like you belong. Wherever you find it, or whatever platform that is, that's valid. If you found it here, either this year or last year.
Yeah, done with that, though. Dun. That one's done, that one's done. I'm gonna go back to this one.
The Joe Rogan Experience. Yeah, the crazy sawed bones are very interesting.
Yep.
So let's talk about that because we've showed photos on the podcast before.
Come on, we've got work to do.
This ain't your first rodeo, mate.
You know, science isn't exactly an exact science.
Introducing your champion.
No one gives a crap who's better. All I care about is who's the best.
And that these sawed bones, now you have carbon dated them and they're to when?
Yeah, they are. Yeah. You're not going to believe this because we got all excited when we found them.
Yeah.
Plus or minus 200 years.
Here, pals. Lotna Landon's one of my specialities.
So what kind of animal are these from?
I don't know.
But they're 200 years old.
190. Here, I brought one with me.
Oh, really?
This is a story about how these were found. Because I got a call one day, I was out there at the boneyard. My daughters have a tourist business around the corner a little bit called Gold Gardens. And Laura called me and goes, "Dad, there's a state trooper over here and wants to talk to you." And I look around my truck to see what I got in it. I said, "Okay, I'll be right over." I go over. And we had some stuff going on at the time. And I didn't think there was any reports filed any place. But I go over there and introduce myself to this guy. And his name's Eric Spitzer. He's the head state trooper in Fairbanks. He says, "I'm just out in the neighborhood. I wanted to come by and introduce myself. I saw you on Joe Rogan's podcast. I love fossils. I love what this is all about. Is my kids like to look for bones, and I take them out in the woods and we look for stuff. And I just wanted to come by and introduce myself." And the excitement in this, just him talking to me. I said, "Well, follow me over. I'll go show it to you right now." So we went over to the boneyard. He got out, he looked around, he just couldn't believe it. Picked up some bone parts. I said, "Well, now you're a boner. You just got to find one." And bullshit a little bit. He goes, "Do you mind if I bring my kids out sometime?" I said, "Bring them out this weekend. We'll fire the pumps up. I'll turn you guys loose and then we'll come check on you once in a while." And they found a pallet or two full of bone. Little fragments, leg bones, and then they came back the next weekend. They found a mammoth tusk, and they found these sawed bones, a few of them. We got 15 of them now that they found. And so I told everybody that those bones are now called the Spitzer finds. Two little young daughters found them. Sometimes it just takes a new set of eyes. I don't know how many of those we picked up in the past, but we never looked at it that way. So I brought one with me. This is the one that I carbon dated.
And so this is the one that's 200 plus years old.
Right. Now you can see that now. Right? That's what I cut out, sent in to get carbon dated.
And so this is
Hang on a tick, I'm crafting.
Looks like a care package
this is some sort of a joint. Is that a femur? Is it the top of a femur?
The lady, Jeanette Ryan, Dakota Huntress, she thinks it's a moose blue slate bone. But set it on its end there, other end.
Light ammo here.
Okay.
Now,
Barrel stabilizer
200
here.
years ago,
Level 1.
what kind of utility would that have to do that?
What kind of utility to do that?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, the people that did that, why would they have a bone like that?
I would imagine to get to the marrow.
Yeah, but then what?
You eat it.
Maybe a candle? Maybe some marrow?
Well, I would imagine they're eating the marrow. Because
They are eating the
people
marrow.
have always eaten the marrow, and that's how they do it. I mean, if you get marrow now, that's how you do it.
But I think there's some utility to that bone, is what I'm saying.
Yeah?
Just the way it sits. You could have put fire embers in it to keep, overnight. Because this was 200 years ago.
Yeah.
This was 100 years before Fairbanks was discovered. This is even more of a mystery to me.
So is this Russians? It's obviously
It's
owned by
about-
Russia.
It's about the same time frame. Yeah. Russians own Alaska. And, it wouldn't surprise me if they didn't go up. They founded Anchorage in the late 1700s.
I think the utility of it is just a coincidence, honestly, because it doesn't look like it's been worked at the bottom.
Nope.
No?
No, I agree with you. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. None of us know.
I mean, I'm sure they have used some of these before, like that, or something. But if I had to guess, I would guess that this is just something that they did to get at the marrow where all the good fat is,
Maybe they had some vodka and they poured it in there.
Perhaps.
I don't know.
They probably had some kind of metal cups back then.
Well, those two little you just showed, they look like cups to me.
They could have been. They certainly could be some sort of a thing that you could drink out of. Certainly the right size for a good shot of vodka.
Yeah.
But, so, were there supposedly people living in that area back then? No.
Might be something good that way.
He was right. Because up till now, the dating sequences have been 3,000 feet before present to now it's 40,000 years before present. That puts it up to 200 years before present.
Which is interesting.
It is interesting.
So what do you think is going on?
I have no idea.
Does anybody have a theory?
There's probably a lot of theories. But that's the whole point about all this stuff. Nobody knows.
Well, at least we know you didn't come up with evidence that the saw is older than 5,000 years old, which is one of the things that we're thinking.
Which is, I was hoping that was going to be the case. When I got started but thinking about it, it's more of an interesting thing.
How much of a recorded history do we have of that area from 200 years ago?
None.
None.
Lifeline's healing, but she was
it
fucked up.
mostly have you ever seen that Werner Herzog documentary, Happy People Life in Taiga? About people who live in Siberia right now, instead, and they live this incredibly primitive life. Really all they have is snowmobiles and hand tools. And, maybe some chainsaws. And most of what they do is just living off the land, trapping, fishing, hunting. That's it. And they, the very low instances of mental illness. Everyone's very happy. All these communities of these people living together, just, surviving, living off the land.
Just move and go craft me. You ain't winning that fight.
But I don't think there's much historical record on those people. The people that are alive there right now, if they were to die off 200 years from now, what evidence is there of them? Other than you might find some stuff that they did. You might find some trees they cut down.
Andale!
Some logs or whatever's going to be around still 200 years from now that'll be preserved.
Yep. Well, we did
Amigo!
Rock across the valley on top of a hill.
No, you go. Oh my
Still
God.
don't know how old that is or where that's from.
Skinning Rock.
Skinning Rock.
So
supposed to be.
And it's been worked. So
Yeah, there's even a little.
You got the card. Wow, good job,
Maybe
bro.
flesh something out.
And what is it made out of?
Stone from Eastern Europe. Remember we talked a little bit.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
And it wasn't local.
Right.
So there was a lot
Scrappy
of travel,
DP says,
migrating going on
GW.
across that very land. There was ice-free corridor.
Yeah.
Scrappy DP says, Tut.
There's a lot of stuff that we find, as I said last time, that they say didn't live there, but it sure died there.
Yeah, let's talk about that. What different animals did they say didn't live there that you personally in your company has found evidence of?
Direwolf being one of them. Sabertooth being another one. But I found one, and my company found one before I was around. Sent them to New York City. I asked to see them, but they didn't have them available. And let's see what else we got. Badgers, elk.
And they didn't think they were around back then?
No.
Why did they not think that elk were in that area back then? Because elk are in Alaska.
Because they never found any elk bones.
Right. But that's it. It's just they didn't find the bones.
They didn't find the bones.
But they literally didn't think that saber-tooth tigers lived in that area.
They didn't think that. In fact, in that film, that documentary film, Pat Druckenmiller, who's the curator now and the director of the museum, says to their knowledge, none of them have ever been found there.
Wow.
But to my knowledge, they have been, because on a shipping manifest to AM&H that one was sent to them. The one I found was stolen by the British Museum and never returned. So I'm on kind of a little bit of a rampage these days about the museums and what they're doing with these collections. It's kind of a one man thing. It's a cause. I think it's important.
Well, I think it is important because these museums are run by these academics, and academics, unfortunately, some of them tend to be very arrogant, and they want to be able to control whatever narrative they have or whatever information they have, and they don't want to be open about it.
No. And the AM&H is a private institution, but the Smithsonian is a public entity that's owned by us. So they answer to a different set of rules. The Smithsonian has to respond to a FOIA request. AM&H says, what are you going to do? Sue us. We'll stump break you.
What does that mean?
Bend you over a log and we'll break you.
Oh, with money?
With money, with lawyers, with all that litigation costs.
Why don't we fucking crowdfund something?
Well, because I have another plan. This is a plan that's going to work.
Okay.
I have people in our state legislature working on this right now. There's a senator named Click Bishop, who's on the Finance Committee, the Resources Committee. He's the majority whip. And he's making efforts to get the bones back to Alaska, from the state of Alaska. Now, AM&H might be able to take on John Reeves and stump break me, but they can't do it to the state of Alaska. The state of Alaska go toe-to-toe with them son of bitches. Now, after we get that through the House and state legislature, the Senate and the House, we go to the two branches of that. You've heard what an act of Congress is, don't you? You know what that is.
Sure.
AM&H, give them their goddamn bones back. AM&H is going to see the light. There's a political solution to this. Not lawyers, not all that stuff. I've got nothing to do with it. No, I'm just trying to get them back in Alaska so we have that 1,000-piece puzzle to put together. They were supposed to be studied and researched, and the answers to the thinking of that are within the bone.
And so you've never been given any explanation as to why they haven't done this research?
They didn't feel like it.
They just didn't feel like it. Is it because they don't have the resources, or it just wasn't a priority for them, and this was all done from the 1940s, and there's no reason for them to go back and take that stuff and reenact the research or begin the research?
It's impossible for them to come up with any scientific research because they don't have the stratigraphic information. They don't even know where it was found.
Right.
But I do. Let's put it all together, boys, and then we'll study it.
I just don't understand why they wouldn't want to do that. That seems to me an incredible opportunity to attain enlightenment on an area that's fascinating. I mean, have any academics reached out to you after the podcast?
Nothing.
How not? I mean, me just finding your Instagram page was like, Jesus Christ, like, how does this guy have all these bones? Like, this is crazy. What is this place? This place seems like, what an amazing, fortunate find that you guys have this one spot, 2.1 acres, and probably a whole lot more around that area that you just haven't uncovered yet, that has this incredible wealth of bones.
It's amazing.
It's fucking incredible.
And that's why that cut bone, by the way, I noticed we don't have a Spitzer bone out there in your lobby.
What's a Spitzer bone?
That's what we call Spitzer bones.
Oh, yeah.
You ain't got one of those in your lobby.
No.
I'm gonna fix that shit.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
We do have the Steph Bison
I
head,
saw it out there. It looks nice there.
We're trying to figure out how to display it. I think I'm gonna have a stand built and just have it sit out there.
I got people going, oh, he needs to get a Cadillac, and I don't know how to do it. So he's gonna drive it around.
Once I get a range, I'll do that. I think it, nah, that's not good.
The blue bag price was 38,000 years old. And that's, they could have known each other back in the day.
What an amazing spot you have. Do you ever stop and just think how insane it is?
I do when I have people like Eric Spitzer and his daughters show up, and they're just, the happiness, they're just so gleeful.
Yeah.
And sometimes I need to see that to remember that what we're doing is kind of worthwhile.
No, it's very worthwhile.
It means that people enjoy it and they like seeing it and they like doing it. And we just have to figure out a way to let everybody do it.
Well, it just seems to me that this is an extraordinary opportunity to gain some understanding.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't understand why these universities or someone hasn't reached out to you and said, hey, we need to really full-scale investigation and find out what happened here.
Champion out. Let's head in that direction, darlings.
Including BBC's Merlin, the recent Teen Wolf TV series, and Sherlock, whatever that is. But people began to notice these sections were suspiciously similar to one another YouTuber had already made. Alexander Avila, whose channel used to be called Are They Gay, has a series of videos exploring the queer implications between characters in various shows, and he's covered Merlin, Teen Wolf, and Sherlock. The part of Summerton's video covering Merlin feels like he watched Avila's video and very...
I found off. Extended energy mag here. Level 4.
Stand back. Knuckle clusters firing.
Round 5. Beginning ring countdown.
Arkstar, will you get your bahookies in the ring, please? Thank you, dear. Need some
Running a clown over there. They're shooting at me. Funnel loading coming. Guy's about to fall.
Recharge your shields.
Recharge your shield.
Not far from the room, half a minute. Gonna need to carry more bandages round your hose.
That guy's hurt. Push him before he heals. You have to push him hard. One more coming. One more coming.
Slightly rephrased it, but what made it really obvious was the footage he used. They weren't just...
I would show you the bunker that's in my backyard, but it is in fact invisible, buried... and not. Above the ground anymore. Super exciting to look out my window this morning and not see the giant 12-foot tubes we had delivered, or the incredibly deep 20-foot hole we had dug in my backyard to hide the tubes. Now, as you can tell, it is a nice sod-filled backyard with just 2 caps on top to hide the entry and exit shaft. Even though the yard is put back together, there's still a whole lot we have to do inside, like adding the floor to both the entry shaft and the bunker itself, and we have to talk about how much all of this cost me here in 2023. Let's dive right in. It is so deep down there. We're going to start by adding a floor to this shaft. We are 18.5 feet down here, and then once the floor is built here, we can start adding the floor through the rest of the tube, which is under the earth, all the way to the exit shaft on the far side. The way we actually get into the bunker currently is with a ladder. At some point, of course, we'll install an elevator, but we got to get everything built out first. And we have a lot of work ahead of us. Lucky for us, we planned in advance for this floor building moment, both in the elevator shaft and the tube itself. We stuck some of our longer 2x4 1/8-inch wall steel rectangular tubes into the pipe before we buried them. Previous Jerry making present-day Jerry's job a whole lot easier. Thumbs up for that. Previous Jerry also welded long mounting strips of metal flat plate to the wall so we can secure the floor to the sides of my backyard bunker. The reason we didn't pre-install the floor before lowering the tubes below ground is because we knew we would have to rotate the tubes or clock them a bit to get them to connect after setting them in the hole, which would make any pre-installed floor or cabinets squampus and unusable. But now, after everything's been bolted, secured, and buried under 250,000 pounds of dirt, the bunker's never going to move again, and we can use a brilliantly designed magnetic laser level to very accurately lay out the floor in a way that's perfectly flat.
Get ready. Today is not gonna be easy.
Having a level floor is extremely important, almost as important as airflow. While we're rolling down to the bottom of the bunker, we have to be very conscious of the airflow. Since oxygen is rather important to the survivability of people in the bunker, we have 2 fans above the exit shaft that are pulling air through the bunker to remove any of the welding smoke or fumes. And when we're finally living down in the bunker, we'll have a whole different airflow system that keeps the oxygen in sufficient supply. The fans are pulling enough air in through the entrance and spitting it out through the exit to replace the oxygen in the bunker about every minute or so. The only downside, however, is that underground it's going to maintain a temperature of about 50 or 60 degrees year-round, but since we're pulling in the freezing air from outside, it lowers the temperature considerably. So we'll have to find a way to heat up the bunker that doesn't use a whole lot of electricity from our batteries, which I'll talk about a bit later. However, when it comes to sleeping arrangements, we figured those out already. Huge thanks to 8 Sleep for sponsoring this video. The liquid-cooled and heated 8 Sleep mattress cover only uses about 200 watts to warm my bed up to 110 degrees Fahrenheit or cool it down to 55 degrees. My wife and I have been using this mattress cover on our own bed for the past few months. One half can be hot while the other half is cold. I got a new one just for this bunker. The 8 Sleep pod cover turns any mattress into the smartest bed on the planet with a subscription-powered autopilot feature that can use the heating and cooling of the bed alongside the heart rate and VRM metrics to help you fall asleep faster and get the most restful sleep possible, intelligently and scientifically. The 8 Sleep pod is clinically validated for deeper sleep and has a built-in thermal and vibratory alarm clock. Even after the subscription is over, though, the heating and cooling functions of the mattress cover remain functional, which means perfect sleeping temperatures for us during the apocalypse, and as we all know, the best apocalypse is a cozy apocalypse. Get a substantial discount off of your own 8 Sleep pod cover with the link down in the description, and I'll show you where this mattress ends up after we finish installing the floor. If you remember this magnet from one of the previous videos, we're using it as the platform to hold the joist to the floor. Not how it was originally intended, but it's doing a good job. We're adding the floor structure about 3 feet up from the bottom of the tube, giving us about 9 feet of headroom in the center and a whole lot of usable storage space underneath the entire 40-foot length of the bunker. I plan on using the storage for food and water, since during an emergency situation, each person down here will need about 1 gallon of water per day to survive. So 6 people for 1 month would need a minimum of 200 gallons. Even more than that if we want to shower or fight off those aliens from signs. So I'm hoping to fit maybe like 500 to 1,000 gallons in here somehow, but that's a problem for future shows. We should have enough space on the floor to also run ventilation and the electrical. Electricity is important, because an Xbox and a 90-inch TV sure ain't gonna power themselves. And it's also for other less important things like lights or cooking.
And this is how we're gonna get them down into the bunker. I'm gonna record this just in case I completely miss it. Welcome back.
Now that we have the metal frame installed on the floor, it's surprisingly easy. Looks like there's just one more left. Before we put up the walls, let me give you a tour. We have the exit shaft right here, master bedroom here in the corner, bunk bedroom here in the middle, huge 90-inch TV along the center beam, couches, sinks, bathroom here in the corner. Working our way over to the exit shaft where we're going to install an elevator right here. And then we have a full setup of EcoFlow RV batteries. I've already made a full video with these batteries, taking an RV off-grid, but they're going to be perfect for the bunker. And this is what it looks like on its floor. From the very first day we started welding flanges on the bunker to today with the floor fully installed, it's about 2.5 months. Not bad at all when you consider that we've installed a full bunker underneath my backyard. But the big question is, how much did it all cost? So keep in mind that I tried to make this bunker as inexpensively as possible while not cutting any corners. Not that there are any corners in here. The bunker tubes themselves cost $31,959. All the steel for the entry, exit shaft, and the floor that we built today is $24,698.37. The laser cut off-cut flanges that we used to bolt the two tubes together were $3,720. The telehandler was $4,498. The crane was $1,864, and there was a few smaller things like the sacrificial land up at $416, and the high mill Shertar epoxy waterproofing that was $514. And the wood for the flooring that we installed today was $346.92. But the best money we spent on this entire project was for the excavation. Worth every penny, it was $30,249. And that includes all the machines and the brilliant guys working those machines. Worth their weight in gold. They're what made this project possible. So the final answer on how much this whole project has cost up till now is $98,265.35. Less than a maxed out Cybertruck or a Ford F-150 Raptor, but still pretty expensive. I was hoping to keep the whole project about $75,000 or $80,000, but I think staying below $100K is still pretty solid. However, there are a few things I'm leaving out. I'm not factoring in consumables like saw blades, grinding wheels, or the 5 miles worth of welding wire it took to put this thing together. That welding wire alone would be about $800. We also use a ton of tools, but you know, tools are an investment. At least that's what I tell my wife. I'm also not going to count the $15,000 worth of asphalt driveway damage, since that would ruin my sub $100,000 price point. I'm also not factoring in the 1,200 man-hours that myself and my team put into this over the last 2.5 months. Since technically one man can indeed build a bunker, like Colin Furs overseas, it would just take quite a bit more time, and our goal was to finish it before winter, which we accomplished. If those 1,200 man-hours were built at $25 an hour, which is like an average contractor rate here in Utah, it would have added about $30,000 to the price of the bunker. Overall, I think it's a pretty massive accomplishment to get the whole thing finished and underground in less than 10 weeks. Keep in mind that I'm in a pretty unique place with this project, where the views, the sponsorships, the jars of dirt, and the shirts we sell basically paid for the whole thing, and helped fund my wheelchair manufacturing project, which is the ultimate goal. While it is cool to have a bunker, creating cool content so I can fund the wheelchair project is what this is really all about, and so far I think we've accomplished that. We have many more cool things to add, like the elevator, 90-inch flat screen
I'm
TV,
in here.
and the toilet, all equally important things. So hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and thanks a ton for watching. I'll see you around.
I'm good to go. Signaling my drone back. My drone has been destroyed.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Hope you're having a lovely day. Today I'd like to go over how Amazon doesn't understand how to count or do math. And this is very obvious from the email that many of you likely received today if you're a Prime member. Dear Prime member, we are writing you today about an upcoming change to your Prime Video experience. Starting January 29th, Prime Video movies and television shows will include limited advertisements, otherwise known as advertisements. This will allow us to continue investing in compelling content and keep increasing that investment over a long period of time. We aim to have meaningfully fewer ads than linear television and other streaming television providers. No action is required from you, and there is no change to the current price of your Prime membership. We will also offer a new ad-free option for an additional $3 per month that you could sign up for here. Prime is very compelling value. Prime members enjoy a wide variety of shopping and savings. There's more than 300 million items available for free Prime shipping. Electrical things that are dangerous and don't actually work. Number of different items that you can check out and read fake reviews on. In all seriousness, you understand the problems with the state? You paid and signed up for an ad-free experience. We are now going to add ads. If you want an ad-free experience, it's an additional $36 a year, but we are not changing the price of the service at all to you. Imagine if I had a service whereby I delivered to you 5 gallons of milk each month for $20 a month. And then I send you a notification saying, I am actually only going to deliver you 3 gallons of milk per month, but don't worry, the price is not changing. By the way, if you want to go back to the amount of milk you were getting before, it's now $30 a month. The fuck? Do these people not understand the concept of you're paying for a certain service? If I've taken away what I'm giving you, I have effectively changed the price of the service by keeping it the same, while taking away what it is that I'm offering. Again, I don't even mind that much. What is $36 a year to me? I have a business, I have a job, I have a life, I'm a 35-year-old man. $36 a year for something that is of value to me means almost nothing. It really is. I find what you're offering valuable. $36 a year is literally nothing. I realize that I'm in a privileged and lucky position in life. I most certainly was not in this position 10 or 15 years ago. Definitely not even close 15 years ago. But I am now, and I'm happy and appreciative of that. But that doesn't change the fact that this is bullshit. Why do you have to talk like this? Why do you have to type like this? Why can't you just tell the truth? We want more money. We could continue investing in what we invest in right now. Very obviously so, because from 2021 to 2022, the equity in this company went up considerably. The company is worth more now than it was before. They lost a little bit in order to get there. Again, it looks like they lost a good amount of money here, but the amount of money that they lost is
less than the difference between what they were worth in 2021 to 2022, and more importantly, you understand what I'm saying, right? Like, they have the money to invest in their content already. The reality is that they need to continue growing, and they're not continuing to grow at the same rate that they were before. They were growing faster before than they are now. Likely because people are starting to realize that paying $120 or $140 a year to be able to get next day shipping on garbage, at the end of the day, is still next day shipping on garbage. Amazon does not offer the value proposition that it used to for many users, because when you go on Amazon, it is more and more difficult to purchase products from reputable brands, and easier than ever to buy dangerous products that are complete and utter crap. Whether we are talking about kitchen equipment, whether we're talking about screen protectors, whether we're talking about crimps or fuses, there are many good quality brand name products that you will find on many websites that offer a good value that do not sell on Amazon anymore, because they have realized that selling on Amazon is a losing proposition for them. And as a result of it being a losing proposition to sell on a marketplace where they're treated like garbage, they leave, meaning the only brands left from many different categories are brands that sell complete crap. Dangerous and, dare I say it, illegal products. You cannot sell a wire as a fuse. I'm sorry, that's not something you're allowed to do. Or at least it's something that I'm not allowed to do. Something tells me, even with the lax business laws here in Texas, if I were selling wires as 2 amp fuses that did not blow when you put 2 amps, or 3 amps, or 4 amps, or 8 amps through it, I would get in trouble. But they don't. It seems like consumers are starting to hold them accountable by not giving them money in. And I hope more of them do. I hope people that got this notice cancel. I hope more people that get this notice cancel each and every day. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. See you on the next video. Bye.
The maid, Alexander Avila, whose channel used to be called Are They Gay, has a series of videos exploring the queer implications between characters in various
Oh, I don't want to watch the rest of this video. The video is way too fucking long, bro. Oh, I'm not even a fucking game.
I'm sure all of you remember the now infamous chess cheating scandal that rocked the entire planet due to the absurd nature of some of the claims, where one of the best chess players of all time, Magnus Carlsen, lost, and he insinuated that his opponent may have used less than honorable methods to achieve their victory. As a result, his opponent, Hans Niemann, was accused by many of being a potential cheater. And one of the theories that was cooked up, mostly in jest by a lot of people, but some very vehemently defended the idea that Hans Niemann may have cheated by having anal beads in his rectum. And just when you thought it was safe to go to a chess tournament with your sphincter unclenched, we see a very similar thing happen today. So that whole situation with Magnus Carlsen and Hans Niemann had a conclusion. That had a whole season finale, a whole ending arc. But the idea of anal beads to cheat still persists. And we've now just seen a new accusation against another Chinese chess player this time, that they may have cheated using a similar piece of technology, a similar nefarious method for cheating. So there is a claim that someone who just won the championship did so by having a device planted in their colon where they would rhythmically tighten their sphincter in order to send signals back about the positioning on the board and then receive information on the best move to play. So it's the exact same concept. History truly does repeat itself. And so the champion has been accused of cheating, but that hasn't been proven 100% beyond a shadow of a doubt. But what has been proven is that he has pooped in a bathtub. I've been unable to locate crime scene photographic evidence, so I don't know if this is a Caddyshack moment with like just one turd floating around, or if this was like
destroying the bathtub beyond all salvation? I'm not sure. But because he shit in the bathtub,
one more there,
Coach, of his championship title due to his bad behavior. One moment of weakness, some Hershey squirting accident in the bathtub has now cost him the title of champion. I went over it on stream, so I'll show you clips from that, but I also wanted to go over a little bit from the Mr. Beast These Nuts lawsuit that I touched on last night, because I didn't even know that was going on, and I found that to be pretty interesting too. The Chinese chess champion stripped the title after defecating in hotel bathtub, allegedly used anal beads to cheat. I saw the headline, I haven't looked at it, let's take a peek. So Chinese chess is different than normal chess, it's a completely different set of rules. This led to
what? How does that go through them?
But I'm very curious how pooping in a bathtub would somehow give him
pick the ultimate up and cue it.
This match. I feel like that'd be a detriment more than anything. The world of Chinese chess is in an uproar over rumors of cheating and a bad behavior scandal that saw the national champion stripped of his title on Monday after a victory celebration ended with him defecating in a hotel bathtub. I mean, if you're not shitting in a bathtub, are you even really celebrating? I don't even know why they'd be upset about that. Why would that be an issue? His joy was short-lived, with the CXA on Monday announcing that Yan would have his title revoked and prize money confiscated after he had been caught disrupting public order and displaying extremely bad character. The association was also forced to address rumors circulating online that Yan had cheated during the competition by using anal beads equipped with wireless transmitters to send and receive signals. How would that work, though? You can't have anal beads and be in a bathtub at the same time. Like, those two just wouldn't mix, right? I imagine the water would short-circuit it. Or maybe I'm just not familiar with where anal bead technology is. Maybe it's more sophisticated than I give it credit for. Yan allegedly clinched and unclinched rhythmically to communicate information about the chessboard via code to a computer, which then sent back instructions on what moves to make in the form of vibrations, according to reports circulating on Chinese social site Weibo. Based on our understanding of the situation, it's currently impossible to prove that Yan engaged in cheating via anal beads as speculated on social media.
Cheater.
But he was stripped of his title and banned from playing for a year after his celebration went wayward. Yan consumed alcohol with others in his room on the night of the 17th and then defecated in the bathtub of the room he was staying in on the 18th. In an act that damaged hotel property, violated public order and good morals, had a negative impact on the competition and the event, and was extremely bad character. Okay, I misunderstood. I thought he was playing Chinese chess in the bathtub for the championship and then pooped himself. Okay, so these are totally separate instances. So he's being accused of cheating via the anal beads method, and then after winning via cheating, went and pooped in the bathtub. Got it. Okay. Used his prostate as a Morse code receptor. Well, not a receptor, a Morse code transmitter. It's basically like the Lorenz machine from the World War II era. He's sending the code. I'm curious, is there any more on this? I want to see the scene of the crime. Can I see how much poop was in the bathtub? Like, maybe it was just like a small log. Or maybe he like actually destroyed the bathroom. Yeah, it doesn't look like we have any proof of the defecating. I'll take their word for it, though. God, I just need you to see this. This isn't necessarily about the story, but this is the most ads I've ever seen on a website so far. Since I turned off ad blocks, that way I don't have to, like, go around and go through hoops to get to websites anymore. This is what I get. This is unusable. This is actually unfucking usable. It's 5 ads per 3 blocks of text. Per 3 blocks of text. Bare minimum. Bare minimum. And auto-playing videos at the wazoo. It's fucking miserable. I'm just trying to see a picture of the pooped-in bathtub. That's it. Did you see the latest on Wander Franco? He was on the run in the Dominican Republic and police found him today. Oh, they already found him? Damn, one of the video ideas we had was to track down Wander Franco. Since he played for the Rays, we thought it'd be fun if we were the ones to catch him, like Dog the Bounty Hunter. Oh, they beat us to it? YouTuber Mr. Beast. Oh, he lost. Loses These Nuts lawsuit against Florida company. I thought this was an ongoing thing. Mr. Beast was ordered to stop selling candy with the name D's Nuts after losing a lawsuit to a Florida business owner. Damn, you can't fuck with Florida, I guess. Who got him? A Jacksonville man took Feastables and Donaldson to federal court after he noticed the name sounds similar to his gourmet peanut business, D's Nuts. Oh, interesting. Okay. So these nuts belong to D. So D's Nuts owner Brian Detour named the company after his grandma D and owns the copyright. In the lawsuit, Detour claimed Donaldson's near identical product name was dominating search engine traffic that would have otherwise gone to his company. Detour argued that the use of D's Nuts was causing confusion, mistake, or deception and infringed on his copyright. The attorneys filed an injunction last week seeking to block Donaldson from using the name. On Wednesday, U.S. District Court judge sided with Detour and ordered Donaldson to stop using D's Nuts or a similar name. The candy was still available for sale with its original name on the Feastables website as of Thursday. That's super interesting because it's just after the meme. But it is a similar product to what he was selling, I guess, so you could make the argument. No, I guess not really, though. He's making a gourmet peanut. This is chocolate with peanuts. I don't know. He lost, though. I'm not a fucking judge. I would say it's clearly not meant to infringe on your copyright. It's based off of an extremely popular meme. I just don't really see who would get confused. Him saying the traffic would otherwise go to his company is interesting. Yeah, it really is a very interesting claim to be making. But he won, so it worked out.
Let's play a game. Quick, count all the screens in this PC. If you said 6, you missed almost half of it. Don't feel bad. You had no way of knowing just how many products you can get with a screen on them these days. And neither did we when we started sourcing parts for this build. A screen on every head? Why? Like, why not? Your characters, CPU load, FPS graphs, your Twitch chat on the side of your case, anyone? You can even use all your screens to show your friends that you've got more money than brains, because you're paying extra money for parts that consume precious CPU cycles, not making the game run faster, but making your memes danker. Guys, we're not even going to pretend that this is a build we can replicate, even aside from the cost. Performance. Getting all the different software to work nicely with each other was somehow even worse than we expected. But it's definitely a video you should watch closely. Just like you should watch closely to see which Linus is doing the segue for our sponsor, CableMod. Their new Stealth Sense cables eliminate the need for sense wires, which means no more fragile pins in your cables that will bend if you insult them one time. Learn more at the link in the description or at the end of this video. Selecting the motherboard was more challenging than you'd think, because these ones seem like the clear winner. They've got screens on them already. The issue is that they lack one thing that our all-screen PC simply cannot live without. And to get that, we needed the Z790 Steel Legend from ASRock, which was chosen solely for this. It's embedded display port for easy key control. With this one, we don't have to settle for a screen, even though my wife says that that's plenty. Instead, we get to hook up this 13.3-inch monstrosity, a side panel kit from ASRock that is specifically meant for mounting inside the case and, guess it, connecting to that header. You know what? We'll get to that later. First, we've gone with Intel's 13900K since, well, A, 14th gen isn't much faster, and B, we started this project like a year ago. It's been a real nightmare to get working, and we just don't want to change anything at this point. Realistically, we could go with a 14900K, that wouldn't be a problem, but what we couldn't do is go with a KF variant, since the built-in graphics are absolutely necessary to drive all of the displays that we're going to have connected to the thing. For RAM, we're using two 16GB of Corsair Vengeance low-profile DDR5. More on that decision later. And for our boot drive, we've gone with the tried and true Crucial to
How did you let them get
mainly
that?
because there aren't any M.2 drives that have screens on them. At least not yet. With that boring stuff out of the way,
That's
now we can
unbelievable. I
pick
can't.
things up with the Height Y70 Touch. That's right, my friends. One internal screen wasn't enough for us, so we picked a case that has an integrated touch screen. That's right, 14 inches, 1100 by 3840 resolution at 60 Hz. I mean, that should be pretty good for Twitch chat, right? Or Kick. And the case itself has really solid airflow and plenty of room to work in, alongside a pre-installed vertical GPU mounting bracket that we will not be using. Why? How would we see the screen on our GPU once we've got this screen sitting right here? So instead, we've actually had our fabricator, Justin, rig up a new mount that's going to move our GPU, what, Elijah, all the way over here? Yeah, it's going to be vertical. Oh, that's going to be vertical! Now, we considered going with the iBuyPower Snowblock. That's pretty cool. It's got a side panel with like kind of a transparent LCD integrated into it, but that before, and we felt the color wasn't.
This is a brighter screen. You'll be able to see it easier.
Yeah, not fun enough. That also ended up being the reason we went with the Aorus P1280 plus Platinum power supply from Gigabyte. Now, ASUS does have those Thor units that do have a wattage readout, good quality units built by Seasonic, but we felt that Gigabyte screen was just plain cooler. It cost us some compromise. Cable Log currently doesn't support these units, so we're going to be stuck with the stock.
Keep that moving. Why is...
It's going to be a little long for our needs and going to get in the way, but...
Grab the flag. Just move the flag.
Yeah.
So it doesn't reset.
Positivity, come on.
We got one guy that's
It's
not even
great. I love
playing?
it.
No
One small
shit.
thing. This is how it goes in?
Yes. Oh, well, no, the screen's the other side.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, no, it can't go this way because this is the intake.
But you want to see the screen.
We can't. It's the motherboard thing. We're not even going to see this screen. Guys, we're not even halfway through this build. And I can't help but think to myself, what are they doing here? All I can think of is desperation. Like, don't have more
Good
performance than
work.
the competition? Put a screen on it. Don't have better product support than the competition? Put a screen on it.
Every slab.
Well, how else are you going to get the screen to stay?
Stop, you're gonna break it. I worked so hard, please.
If you thought you weren't going to get trolled in this role, you gotta temper your expectations.
That's a good one. You proud of it? I wouldn't.
I can't wait for the comments on this video build stupid.
Like, yes, we're aware.
With that said, these Unifan TL LCD fans from Lee and Lee, they're pretty sweet. Each of the 1.6-inch displays on their fan hubs runs at 400 by 400 pixels, meaning it should look pretty good, right? So cool. And we're going to be connecting them to an ASUS ROG Ryujin 2 360, which has its own 320 by 240 display that needs its own USB 3 header. Wait, this isn't a USB 3 header. This is just USB 3 to USB 2 header adapter.
Oh, well, we ran out of USB 2s, so we just gave it its own USB 3.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll talk more about the hub later. Buy a retro screwdriver, lctstore.com. Speaking of the orientation, are we even going to see these screens, dude?
If you look, like, underneath, yes. Because we have other screens later we'll talk about that are going to get mounted at the top here.
So we're going to have this as an intake?
No, exhaust.
Doesn't.
Why?
Because then we wouldn't see the screen. In order for it to exhaust, we have to put it on your back.
Then yes, it's going to be an intake.
These are cool. They've got these pogo pin connectors, so you only have to plug in one of the fans, and boom, all plugged in. Then we just take the whole block of them and plug it into the hub. Wow, you can connect up to 4 blocks of devices to this thing. And this will be both RGB and LCD products, is my understanding.
Yes, and that's why we actually need the 6-pin PCIe power.
What?
The moment when fans are drawing more power than some graphics cards did 10 years ago.
I like this case. Everything is kind of toolless and kind of easy to use. We'll just pop this bad boy in here, right?
Actually, can we move it over a little bit more? We have some other things that we're gonna mount.
No, we can't.
Cool, then we're gonna go here.
It doesn't fit with this bracket.
Oh, yes it does. We have to bend the bracket.
Oh my god. Wanna go ahead and screw it up, Ian?
I was screwed up, dude. Mother tells me.
She plays with knives. Time to goop it. Is this the right orientation, or can you just flip it in soft?
You can flip it in. I had it vertical.
You had it vertical?
Yes, I had it like that.
Oh, interesting. Now we get to do the wiring for our displays. We'll start with the EDT cable. We actually got a B-roll shot of them plugging in this side of the room. You do want to be really careful with these. They aren't fragile per se, but they are easy to break. And then we're just going to leave the other end of it kind of here. Let's do all our front panel connectors, I guess. Yep. Love these capacitors just kind of hanging out on this 24-pin. Yeah, it helps it cripple.
I wonder if that's why Cable Knot hasn't made custom cables.
Destroyed them.
Part of it, yeah. Now, because some of our displays and hubs connect through USB, and our board only has a single USB 2 header there, we'll be using this really cool powered internal USB hub that has a combination of headers. See that? And USB-A ports, so you can connect friggin' whatever you want for your Xbox wireless dongle in there, little Bluetooth connector, plug in all your, stupid fan controller nonsense, and it all goes through a single header. These were a lifesaver back in the day when they first came out. Where do you want to mount this?
Yeah, they were.
It's just gonna get thrown in the
But
back.
not today is the problem. That's I'm like,
Yep,
why
but
are you
before we
doing
plug
that?
it in,
And I
though,
kind of understand
we
why
need
you're
to plug
doing
in
it
this
now
breakup
because,
Right.
but yeah,
On
of
the
course, having an
motherboard
extra
side.
fucking
Okay.
bunch of
One
USB
of our
headers.
devices will not
They're all
work
still
through
fitting
the
to
hub.
one controller.
So
buddy.
instead, we have to take, as you can see, the USB header here is actually 2 USB ports. There's your 4 conductors for one, there's your 4 conductors for the other. What's funny about this breakout cable is that it's got 9 pins on the other side, but only 4 of them can be active. So I guess we just need to be careful of the orientation when we plug everything in. But that's all fine. The point is, one device is going to plug directly into the header, and the rest is going to plug into this hub, which is plugged into the other side. And which device is that?
The device that plugs into the header is a RAM screen.
Oh my god. Oh, I'm glad it was something really important.
Yes, sir.
The Pacific R2 Ultra Memory LCD Monitor Kit, memory not included, detachable 3.9-inch LCD display support, DDR4 memory module.
Yes.
And I guess that's why we needed the low-profile RAM.
100%. I think this is compatible with most RAM kits, but just to be safe, we got a low profile.
Okay.
You're probably also wondering, how does it attach to this?
Sure.
Yeah, double-sided tape. Alrighty.
There's no way.
Well,
I don't believe you.
It came with a sticky pad, but because I tried building this so many times, the sticky pad wore out. So we need to use tape.
One small detail, Elijah, we're plugging in all of the front panel nonsense. This does not plug into the other side of that breakout. This would have to go into one of the A ports on the hub. Okay, so you just grabbed the front panel USB 2 connector off of a case.
Yes, sir. Trust the science.
Ingenuitive. That's a long cable. Man, I could run this RAM LCD friggin' on my brain RAM.
Report no operation. Alright. Want to make sure it's straight, you know?
Yeah, because it matters.
Yeah, it does. We want this. We still want the computer to look good.
I mean, the alignment of the tape doesn't matter. The alignment of this matters.
No. So you're gonna want to not plug that in because we're gonna want to route it nicely.
The other end.
Mm-hmm. Oh, stop! What is that sound? Don't do it again.
So you wanted to know what it was?
No.
Right. Normally, there's no father in minus. Uno reverse. Let's go.
What's Uno? There you go. That's installed. Look at that.
So much
No, don't move it. Don't move it. Now let's power the CPU screen. It gets its own dedicated SATA.
Seriously?
Yes, because it needs this hub, because it comes out of a USB-B. So we're using the hub as basically a power converter.
Just for the screen.
Yes.
Genius. With all the USB already plugged in, we went ahead and attached our 4 PCIe 8-pin to 16-pin connector right here, and a much longer PCIe extension, which means it's finally time to get to the GPU. Justin's brackets here really show off the 800 by 216 screen on Colorful's Vulcan 4090, which is, where the hell is this screen?
It is right here. It uses like pogo pins.
Oh. Wow. Innovation.
First things first, we need to attach the bracket that Justin printed. It goes on the bottom. I left the screws already in there.
Sick.
But we'll just screw through that, and that helps give it support while it's in the vertical mount here.
Good old Justin. He probably didn't know that he was with us, but that's okay because he's just in.
So, okay. No, stop. We're good. Okay, we need this first, and you need to come in from this side. Yes, but let's plug this in first. Okay, no. I'm at my breaking point.
Oh, alright, I'll see you in 15.
Okay, then it sits on an angle. What? Just for now. Okay. We then plug in all our displays and pop it up into position.
Perfect. Flawless. Now hold on just a gosh darn minute here. You have an HDMI splitter involved?
Correct. We're using these EK screens. They're actually 1080p screens. They're actually really good quality. We're going to mount them near the top here. The reason we're using the HDMI splitter is when we first started this build, we had a bunch of different screens, and in order to get even these two to work, we just split them.
What is the point of these screens? Why did EK even make these?
The marketing material for these screens, it shows like your water temperatures or the flow rates and everything. Realistically though, they're just displays.
Okay. Have 2 HDMI ports on it?
No, it has 1. That's why we have a splitter.
Wait, you just have 6-foot HDMI cables that you're just running internally in the case?
Yeah, no, in the back panel. You won't see them. This project's been in the works for a year. We're not asking anymore.
Changed hands between writers, I think, 3 times.
Correct. I am writer number 3. I'm pushing it across the finish line.
I think the term is towing. Can't wait to see the finished product, though.
It looks really good once it's all together, and then just never open the back panel.
Go ahead, I'll hold it, Easter. Yes, sir. Okay. That's not threaded in there.
Nope, it's more just to hold it. But doesn't it look good there? It looks so good.
It looks really good there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is this the plan for this, though?
What? Yeah. Because we're going to have the screen here.
Right. Okay. Put a screen on it.
You said it earlier. Don't have the best looks? Add a screen.
There. Solved.
Looks sick, right?
It's together.
I like the GPU mounted this way. It looks really good.
And lots of access to fresh air. Like, this is awesome.
Outside screen. Use it display for it.
So, gonna run this bad boy. Oh yes, okay, I've got 2. It's already plugged in. Out it comes. And then we just leave the vestigial cable in there.
Yep. Because you're looking at the screens. It's fine. For these screens, how they're mounting, we ran the cables up to the corner. Justin also lifted up these 3D printed brackets. And that's what's going to go kind of beside the radiator. We're going to screw them up here like this, mount the screen on this side, and they'll just be displaying in the front.
Okay.
The dank memes, dude.
These screws do not screw in at all. Like, you know that, right?
Yes, they do. Mine's screwed in. It's clearly a skill issue.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. Check this out, ladies and gentlemen. Boom, done. Boom, done.
Why did these go in? What is happening right now?
Okay, that one's gone. Cool, we got 2.
You see, Bill, the ones you put in are out.
No, stop moving it! It was playing.
Stop moving it!
Oh, crap, dude.
It still doesn't go straight, dude.
Yeah, it never did.
Oh. Yeah. We were trying to get this straight the whole time.
Oh. Let's go. Let's go.
Right, it's kind of aligned, actually.
Yeah.
Not terrible. Wow. Oh, just wow. Oh, wow. This is the mount for this?
Correct.
Huh. I mean, yeah. Wow.
Just needs to hold it long enough for the shoot. Oh my god, there's so many. When you get 10-foot HDMI cables because you think it's funny and you'll have the range, You start to regret it very quickly. I had this closed once. You can.
I'm just eyeballing this.
You can put it anywhere you want, as long as it's on the bottom.
Yeah. Can you stop saying it looks good? It's not good. It's not done. Not in the right spot at all. It's all coming apart.
Don't get upset. We broke one screen. We did. What screen? Another one of these. We had 2 of them already, so I just grabbed the other one. What? What didn't kill you over here, dude? No. What?
And good enough.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what my heart thinks. Ah, the screen! Woo! Woo! So you plug in the HDMI splitter as well. Comes out the back of the computer case.
Oh man, we got some screens!
As a heads up, we need to boot it twice.
Minus 30 degree liquid.
The software hasn't loaded yet.
I see. And so that's their default.
Yes. Yes.
It's perfect.
Well, it's letting you know that it's loaded.
Why do we need to boot it twice?
Because this screen will never ever work on the first boot. Don't know why. I tried booting this thing like 100 times.
Right, but you only tried the first boot once. The other 99 would have been the first boot.
Oh, it is booting. We made Pat post.
Okay, so
this is our primary screen now,
so
boys.
it does boot on the first.
The computer boots, but that screen will never work on the first try. Yes.
Touch me, feel me, POV. That's creepy.
I love that.
Cheers. Oh, wait, what? What just happened?
I left the peel for you because I thought it would come off.
Yeah. Okay. I can't go on, get.
That's a valid criticism.
No.
Okay.
I gotta review it real quick.
Correct.
Oh, hey, whoa, hey. Look, the big screen works. Nice. I'm gaming, boys. Wow, okay, so I go up the top of this one, and that comes out on these ones just for mirror. Why have you mirrored a lot?
Okay, again, when we had more screens planned, we wanted to mirror these ones just so we could have as many screens as possible. As I started taking screens out, I had enough ports. But now you have 2 extra ports off the GPU, so you could actually run like another display on the outside if you chose to. Excellent question. Oh, I agree. That 1080p 60 hertz. Dedicated. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Look at this. So close. Don't look. It's better if you don't. It's better if you don't. Oh, get the power supply screen. It's totally worth it. It's upside down.
I mean, pretty cool, bro.
I actually really like the quality of the screen.
Yeah, that looks great. Dang.
Power weapons on the way.
Okay.
Yep. I cannot. Oh.
We just gotta relieve some tension. Nice.
Oh my god. Oh, holy crap.
These panel gaps. We should call it the Model Y. Where's the mouse? I didn't say get rid of the mouse. Oh.
Screen on the mouse, baby.
No way.
Yeah.
PUBG on your mouse?
No, you can just have an image of PUBG on your mouse. You can't actually do anything other than PNGs.
J500 display screen gaming mouse. At least they know who they're after. Like, that's it. Display screen gaming mouse. That's what it is. That's what it does. Everything else is just bonus. Oh, wow. This does not look nearly as good as the image on the box.
The lights aren't on.
Yeah, but dude, it's like freaking half an inch in there. This makes it look like it's right on the surface. Oh, wow. It's really clearly photoshopped. There's like a border there. Where's my Logitech G15?
No, I don't have a Logitech one.
Oh.
Got one tiny little OLED baby right in the corner.
Yeah, I guess we'll settle for it. It's not that cool one with like the whole screen behind the whole thing. That's not out yet, huh? Okay. Well, now, hold on a second. Are all the screens working? Oh yeah, this one's working. There we go.
Just keep it moving.
Are we able to align everything? Hi, okay. Not even oh, hi, kitty.
That was one of the stock ones that we'll take out. Did the GPU software work on this one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was up. Cool.
That's doing stuff.
Awesome.
Okay, do I need to open it and reconfigure it, or iGame Center, I guess?
Yeah, that would be the iGame Center. That's where you can customize whatever you want on it.
There it is. Okay. Well, that's the thing we did.
We have all the screens on this one. No, they're all powered on, playing wallpaper. You want more screens? Cool. Elgato. Makes all the screen decks. And I've customized every single image on these for when we plug them in. We need as many screens as possible.
Cleared them all in the middle.
We debated on that. I didn't want to remap the entire keyboard to a Stream Deck. I was too worried I'd miss something critical. Oh yeah, the mouse has a screen on it. Did you check it out yet?
No.
Now that it's loaded?
Wow, what a surprise. You know, the quality of the screen is good.
Yeah, it's actually a really good screen.
I'm kind of impressed.
Oh, good.
How much you want to bet it's just covered in Linus faces?
It's not.
Wow. Some creativity. Good job.
If you boot hardware info, this will actually give us hardware info back.
Will it launch hardware info if it's not launched? Nope.
Nope. It's on one of the screens.
I'm supposed to find my mouse.
There we go.
Is that? Tell me stats. Wow, that's so cute. Why did you go not put it inside?
You saw how much we struggled with the other screens.
This is true. Are these dedicated emoji keys?
Teams actually has a pack on the Elgato website. They don't do anything integrated with Teams, but they're really cute.
But you could just type an emoji?
Oh no, I just made them folders. But I did maybe 2 hours to script each one to type something. It would take a long time. You have to do one key at a time. One of them does open a secret though.
If I had to guess, I would say the secret one is the dinosaur and opens up the Sora.
It's supposed to. With this brings our total to over 90 screens.
Alright, now it's time for Wallpaper Engine then?
Yeah, that's running right now, but you can see the other presets I saved.
Alright, I'll take a second. You didn't do anything on this one. Oh, there it is. Oh, God!
Yeah, nice that.
This is a confusion. Oh my God, this has a parallax effect, so that kind of looks at your cursor. That is first, dude. Wait a second, what about the
They're on the flag with a hammer.
So, since there's still pre-production, the software wasn't up and working when I tested this. But Lean Lee did email me this morning with new software.
Oh, no way.
So,
wait, how are we even supposed to see them? I mean, yeah, they're in there. They're working. Hold on, I'll have to turn this around so you can even see it in there. El Connect! What I really want to know is with all this our CPU usage is 70%. Now, in fairness, we have Doom Eternal running in the background. But Doom Eternal is taking up 40%.
There is so much software running on this computer to make everything work. It's insane.
Doom Eternal's down to 35%. Our CPU just stays at 70% no matter what. It just gives Doom Eternal whatever's left over.
And what's wall?
Yeah, alright, let's go. Let's go.
Doom time, baby.
Oh, our CPU usage is probably crap. I'm just gonna switch my primary display though. No quick browse here. Wow, you know what? This one's actually a lot less laggy.
This one's running off the internal.
Oh, it's probably like reflash. It's running through the iGPU,
yeah.
which does work, by the way. You can use your dedicated GPU through the disabled connection of the integrated GPU that
The GPU was hovering around 30-35%, and there's no games open.
What's up with that? Well, I guess we could look at the Linus on that. There we go, load profile. Name face.
Yeah. But the intro. Are you telling me?
Oh wow, that's kind of like
yeah. And that's like
Alright, fine, this is really bad. 407 somewhere. Oh, it's 407.
I was happy to see first try.
You mentioned that there were
What?
screens we didn't.
What?
What kind of screens did we have?
We had some skinnier ones that we were going to throw around and all over the place. And the problem is, they would work on their own,
yeah.
But the hybrid of mixing certain screens with certain USB, with certain adapters, this is what I could get working.
Got it.
So your mileage may vary if you wanted to add as many screens as possible.
Let's try Counter-Strike. No, we're good. Play anyway. Here we go.
I think this is weird. Oh.
Counter-Strike 2! play button? Oh my goodness. Play. Oh, here we go. Casual. Press 2. Go.
Yes.
Alright, we got this. If I can get a kill, what do I get? Oh, first point, Charlie.
Sure, done.
Oh, dang it! Lined right up in my tunnel vision.
If anything, you should be more accurate now because it has to be in the center.
0 distraction.
I can't see my peripheral.
Oh.
Okay, up.
Everything's a jump scare.
It's so scary. Love it if your teammates could see what resolution you're playing at, so when they spectate you, it just shows this. It would look like, what is going on? Is you playing vertical on a phone?
I even see the muzzle. My crosshair is the entire width of my display.
Playing so, passive. Get in there.
Dude, I can't see for Am I even holding a gun? I'm not sure.
You're such a coward. Go.
438 damage in one hit.
Oh, man.
That's basically this computer in a nutshell. And this is our sponsor in a nutshell. CableMod. Their Stealth Sense cables eliminate the need for sense wires that run from your GPU to your power supply. Instead,
that's
the
not what
connector
I
uses
wanted
a
to
hidden
fucking
bridge
open.
to tell the GPU that up to 600 watts of delicious pulp-free juice is ready to be slurped. The juice is electricity. Using this hidden bridge instead of a sense wire means there's no tiny fragile sense pins in the cables which can dislodge themselves at the slightest provocation. And that's good news because dislodged pins can lead to issues like 100% fan utilization or black screens, which make it much harder to see what your PC is doing and make it sound like a Boeing 747 taking off. So stop compromising on your
bullshit.
cables. Get peak performance, higher reliability, and cleaner aesthetics with CableMod's Stealth Sense cables. You can check them out on Amazon or at CableMod's own website, linked down below. If you guys enjoyed this video, why not check out the opposite of it? The easiest gaming PC build. We use an NVIDIA case. It had that same handy, just like one brick, plugs in all your front panel connectors and everything. It was a lot easier. What a stupid build.
Various TV shows, including BBC's Merlin, the recent Teen Wolf TV series, and Sherlock, whatever that is. But people began to notice these sections were suspiciously similar to one another YouTuber had already made. Alexander Avila.
I am not watching this again. That's good. What the fuck, Valorant? Get me in, bitch.
What is up, peeps? Welcome back to week number 3 of the top 5 gaming clips presented by Buffed Energy. My favorite time of the week. Of course, we show the best gaming clips out there by the community and some of your favorite streamers and creators. Coming at number 5, guys, we have a Twitch streamer known as Obi-Wan Coyote, who in PUBG hit a flying vehicle grenade kill. Here it is.
Oh, the grenade!
Oh my god! And at number 4 this week, guys, a very special clip from Dr. Disrespect, who decided to sit down and play some Warzone and had an incredible clutch moment.
I can go back if you want.
You
sure?
I might just work to you. I can just work to you. We can get a loadout over here.
Yeah, just follow me.
Yeah, I'm on my way.
I'm in the, what do they call that? An ambidextrous vehicle, the amphibious?
Come up to this team right here.
Okay, I'm circling around.
Let's get rid of them.
I'm jumping in. I'm literally jumping in right now. You see me gliding in, Z? I got one.
I got one as well.
Finish them off.
Yep, got him.
Beautiful.
From this shit here.
I'm restarting the game and coming back in, if you don't mind.
One that will certainly go down in the record books, and the same probably for number 3. I know I'm a bit late on this one, guys, but I had to, okay? And you'll understand exactly why I had to. A Warzone and Call of Duty professional player, that being Jukies, was caught on the big screen in a stadium in 4K doing this.
What they want to do. What you looking at?
What's happening here?
Oh.
Who is that?
Huh.
I don't know who that was, but I don't know who that...
Jukies?
That's a reindeer.
Is it Jukies?
Looks Jukies.
Jukies. Come on, man.
Within 24 hours, we found out Activision was not very happy about the clip, but Twitch really was. At number 2 in the countdown, we have Imperial House showing exactly why they call him the CEO on this.
Yep.
You seem nervous. I can't hear it. 453. Wrong. Go ahead for 100, one's down. Alright. I'm right behind him. On. Yeah, 98. Behind you. Need help? Yeah. I'm right here. Nice, man.
And finally, at this week's number 1 and most important spot, although you really no order, no particular order when it comes to the countdown, but a lot of people talking about the finals being a great free-to-play FPS game. That includes the number 1 ranked player in the game who has over 220 hours played in the past 2 weeks alone. While defending his number 1 spot live on stream, he fell asleep, and his own friends had to try and wake him up.
I know, I can hear it. Mm-hmm. What if you spam call him and I just spam his name?
Kyle! No, there's no way you can sleep like that deep, bro. I wake up instantly. How is this guy not waking up? Wake the f up, Kyle!
Kyle, lock in, bro. Wake the f up.
As per usual, we hope you guys all enjoy the top 5 gaming clips of the week. This week was a bit drier than other weeks because everyone was on holiday break, although some of the tryhards were still gaming. Come back next week for number 4.
On holiday.
Match found.
Holiday. Is that Masako?
Anybody have a mic?
No, brother. I don't.
How we doing? We doing good, bro.
Okay, brother. Okay, we're gonna go to that one. Oh, Killer Quan, you want to give me a 19 minute? First go to this.
Hey, you want to come to Christmas?
Yeah.
Hey.
But I wanted to do the Lil Nut Boys.
Alright, do it.
Yo, we got the best team.
Okay, wait, let me give you the scene.
Oh, this is a perfect episode of Karen. I'll just be quiet.
I'm Austin cutting off Cutie, who's just about to tell a story that was new, because I want to look at Hassan in the eyes, and I want to say, you wouldn't be a good bottom. Okay, ready? And so, can you start the story?
Yeah, so I was on the phone with Maya the other day.
Hassan, listen. I walk in this room, I can tell you would be a horrible
Know that there's no one I would rather.
Guys, we have a healer, they don't. We're already ahead.
I know that. That's why I said we had the best team ever. But don't get your hopes up.
Can we not have this conversation for the 50?
Well, cutie, I will. They have a what?
Do you understand me?
Well,
the only thing is we can't flag that much because they have a cipher. I hate ciphers.
You can't make me do that. You can't make me.
Right. Maybe just all 3 of us.
3 go to B and 2 go to A.
Alright, and
So
scene.
Leon,
Great.
you can go to B.
And that was episode 57 of
No,
Fear
B,
Hands.
go to B.
Most viewed yet.
Holy
Sage-
cow.
Yeah, I will come to Christmas dinner.
This is song still here. I hope you saw
Have
it.
some self-awareness.
I think he's ruffling.
Or Lamowing.
Hey.
He doesn't know how to use email.
Hello everyone, this is yours.
I'm flanking.
It's B. It's B. No, they're all A. I'm crazy.
I'm gonna flank, don't worry.
Okay, there it comes.
Trust.
Suppress.
Yeah, just X.
Spike planted. Eliminate. One enemy remaining.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Last player standing.
My bad. That was actually my bad.
I don't.
Listen up. Kill them before they kill us. Go, go, go.
You guys remember
Why'd you
the
shoot
college
this-
admission scandal?
the,
A bunch of rich celebs
the
got
cipher trip
busted
Who's that?
because they
So it would've,
cheated
I'm
their
pretty sure it
kids'
slows
way
you, right?
into University
No,
of like
it doesn't.
USC. Aunt Becky and her Target designer
Doesn't?
husband
I
went
thought
to
it, like,
jail for like 2
He's
seconds.
dead, so
I
he-
actually
outside
saw
was
her
dead. Good
husband
job.
and the daughter in Beverly Hills shortly after he had been released. He looked rough. It's what prison does to a man. So Felicity Huffman was one
Paul
of the
B.
celebs who got busted. It was a big deal. She, I think, got dropped from some projects, and she
That is
hasn't
crazy. You suppressed all
spoken
of
about it until now. And I can't wait to hear what she has to say.
It felt like I had to give my daughter a chance at a future.
You're Felicity
I'm actually doing
You
cheat
could have
code.
done what other rich people do and buy their way in. You could have literally just given a big donation. Oh my god! Or
He's got a shoddy.
in school. Is
On
she
site.
stupid?
Last
I
player
feel like
standing.
Felicity Huffman is
Pretend
trying
to
to tell us that her daughter is so
Spike
stupid
planted.
that she had to do this. It was the only way. Can you imagine your famous mother basically being like, no, you guys don't get it, my daughter is so dumb. She would have had no chance at a future if I did not break the law. 2 seconds in, and this is already great.
So it was sort of like my daughter's future, which meant I had to break the law.
In December of 2017.
What is
Yeah,
that sage?
we are talking about the daughter of 2
Yeah, can you go
A-list actors.
Just go A, don't watch
Rich,
it.
famous celebrities. William Macy got that shameless
Sage,
money.
can you wall
Felicity
right
Huffman got that Desperate Housewives money. That's like one
Wall.
residual check. Literally. It's not like that anymore, but back in the day, those
Beep, beep,
Desperate
beep, beep, beep.
Housewives, residual
Copy,
checks.
copy, copy.
Huffman told her daughter to
I'll
take
be-
the SAT test. Her daughter not knowing that Huffman had paid $15,000 for someone to falsify the results.
She was going, can we get ice cream afterwards? Scared about the test.
Yeah,
what
whoa.
can we do that's fun? And I kept thinking, turn around.
Whoa, hurry up.
Turn around. And to my
Felicity Huffman,
I am-
star of Desperate Housewives, an Oscar nominee, one of 33 wealthy parents to face federal charges in Operation Varsity Blues, accused of conspiring to use bribery and fraud to get their kids into top colleges. The middleman, a self-styled college counselor named Rick Stevens.
After a year, he started to say,
Good day, old man.
Last player standing.
70
Spike
on
down B.
Bro, y'all
I
need to
believed
come.
it. And
Like,
so
what do we say to
when
come?
he slowly started to present the
Spike
criminal
planted.
scheme, it seemed like,
This
and I
kill
know
just
this
mad
sounds
at
crazy
me.
at the time, that was my only option to give my daughter a future.
It is crazy. It is crazy. First of all, what
I'm pretty
she's
sure she's
saying
AFK.
is that unless
She
her
is.
daughter had gotten into
Bro,
the specific schools that
kills
she
us,
applied
man. Good
to,
lord.
that she wouldn't have a future, that's insane. Her daughter probably had a list of like 10 colleges, okay? So the idea that if her daughter did not get into one of those colleges, she had no future. Your daughter already has a future because of you and your husband. There was never not the option. I'm actually flabbergasted at this mentality. Just the mind of someone who doesn't understand their privileged position, not just being very, very rich, but being celebrities.
Hindsight is 20/20, but it felt like I would be a bad mother if I didn't do it. So I did it.
Months later,
Does
the
anyone have a blue
FBI was
Spectre
at her
skin?
door.
They came into my home.
I know Sage does.
They woke my
Sage, can I
daughters
get
up
Spectre?
at gunpoint. Again, nothing new to the black and brown community.
No. There should be a new law. If you are a wealthy white celebrity,
Where's my knife?
you are no longer allowed to mention the black and brown community. Keep those communities out of your goddamn mouth. Why
not-
are
they're not
black and brown people getting dragged into your breaking the law scheme? You are not the same person being
planted.
woken up at gunpoint, which is
ultimate is
nothing
ready.
new to the black and brown community, is linking those experiences
I'll flank.
when those are not the same experience. Do we understand why black and brown people's experience with police in this country is not Felicity Huffman's experience?
No
Why do
charges
white
left.
celebrities keep talking about
One
the black
enemy
and brown
remaining.
community? Stop it!
Then they put my hands behind my back and handcuffed me, and I asked if I could get this. And I thought it was a hoax.
I'm doing absolute
But
booty,
the
guys.
incident that happened earlier this summer, where that happened to me, can you imagine how insane it would be if I was like, I understand what it's like to be a black or a brown
Oh, that was a
person.
good clutch
Black
by
and brown people know
was
that
good.
experience all too well. That's what happened to me, and it's what happens to
Sage,
the
if
black and
anybody
brown
dies, just
community every
just
day.
out.
It's nothing new to them. We are linked.
My
We are
ult-
connected.
No, I was planning on leaving
Trying to
everyone on the
black people in a
ground.
flak
Thanks.
jacket and a gun, and I went, is this a joke?
It was not. Huffman.
Is this a joke?
Oh, yeah, my
See,
ult- for
one
my
of the
ult,
difference,
if I
Felicity
die
Huffman, is
during
that
the
you,
ult-
I can
rich
rescue.
white lady,
Yeah.
could not
Yeah.
fathom that you would face serious repercussions
Beep.
for breaking the law. You did
Beep,
not
beep, beep,
think
beep, beep, come
about
beep,
the
come beep.
fact that in breaking the law, that there
Neon
was
has
a good
spikes.
chance of you getting caught. You committed fraud. So no, it's not a joke.
7
to
days
watch
in prison.
You
Paid up
watch-
for
Yeah, also 11 days.
community service and apologized.
11 days.
I owe a debt and an apology to is the academic community and to the students and the families that sacrificed and worked really hard
Last player
to get
standing.
to where they were.
79 Omen.
She's made no further public statements until
65
now.
Neon.
Why now?
I want to use my experience and what I've gone through and the pain to bring something good, which is to shine a light on Susan Burton's organization called A New Way
Spike
of Life.
planted.
A New Way of Life is a nonprofit that helps formerly incarcerated women get back on their feet by providing
Last
housing,
player
clothing,
standing.
job training, and above all, safety. Here's where Felicity Huffman did her court-ordered community service.
Opponent
I said, I'm here to apply to work, but I understand if you don't
Check
want
your
me. And Susan looked at me and went,
Okay,
yeah, I want you.
Well, I thought we would
I had the big
bring her
slump.
in.
this is one of those situations where I'm like, it is ultimately a good thing to have a visible, wealthy white celebrity like Felicity Huffman backing a nonprofit like this, which would otherwise not get as much attention. Let's be real, okay? I'm not going
Yeah,
to
you-
sit here and be like,
Sage, can I get
talk with
inspected,
that.
please?
It is just the irony. That's the two justice systems, okay? Felicity Huffman served 11 days and paid a $30,000 fine. And now she's woken up to the injustice of the justice system. The motivation
I might ult this
is,
time if they come,
of
if they
course,
all come
cringe,
do this time.
but
I'm going with
okay,
it. I'm going
if
with
she
it. I don't
helps
like
out
it.
this nonprofit to get funding to like actually help
Are they beef?
incarcerated women who don't
There's
have the
3 here.
luxury that she has,
And
fame,
Omen has the,
money, and whiteness,
spike.
then okay, I'm on board. The real learning experience will help in funding scholarships to underrepresented communities who contest with their privilege. Right, she should keep going with this. But she really wants to atone. If she wants to use their privilege for good, then yeah, that's another great way of doing so.
One enemy remaining.
26 Gecko.
In
He's low,
education, right? Not just
130,
in
Where
the
is he?
incarceration system, but also in
Last
education.
player
Help
standing.
fund scholarships
Good
for
job.
students
Last
who could
enemy
never
taken out.
dream of having parents who would pay $15,000
must
to
fall.
cheat on their SATs.
Then
Like these
fall
are
near
students who don't have the opportunity.
Sage,
Even
can I
if they
have,
have the skills, the scores, they don't have the means to
Vandal?
go to these schools.
I needed
You
that
know,
ult.
put her at a
someone get
desk
this?
and
Thank you.
have her
Need a
work,
drop.
in the office. And she said,
Yeah,
no,
Leon, you
I
can
want
buy
to
me.
do real work.
Thank you.
And she organized all of our closets and donations. She went jogging down Central Avenue
Running.
in South
I'm
LA
going with
and
Leon.
created exercise
Just suppress
baskets
it
for
then if
the
you don't see.
women.
150 hours of community service was up. Huffman stayed on and joined the organization's board of directors.
You're not here.
When I saw what A New Way of Life was doing, which is they heal one woman
flanking.
at a time, and if you heal one woman,
Go flank.
you heal her children, and you heal her grandchildren, and you heal the community.
Why should I flank?
I needed that.
Is one of the most beautiful people.
Bro, Sage, you took that
Yeah, in
orb.
my
I needed
lifetime.
that.
And I know
Spike
that
planted.
she's had a hiccup, but
Just
it's
rush,
not
just
the
rush.
hiccup.
Still
Hiccup, you come through the hiccup.
Huffman told me her daughter was turned down by every college she applied to during the scandal. She retook the SAT and earned her way into Carnegie Mellon University, where she's in the drama program. This weekend, Huffman is hosting the 25th anniversary gala for A New Way of
My
Life.
ultimate
I have
is
so
not
many
What's behind
feelings
that?
about this, and I think ultimately what it is that
Last player
Felicity
standing.
Huffman is to
Enemy
find a
down.
way.
Got the bit.
Felicity Huffman is not someone who is wrongfully incarcerated, and yet she'll be fine. She is fine. Now she gets to have her comeback story by being the face of this charity.
Yeah.
The focus is on
Can I get
Felicity
Spectre?
Huffman. All I can hope is that there is good
Just buy a
that comes
rifle. We
from
don't need
this,
Spectre,
even
'cause
though,
Spectres get hit
of
from
course,
forward.
it leaves a bad
Just get
taste
a
in your
Vandal.
mouth just because
I know, but
it
I
leads
can't
to
get
the
shields.
inequalities that are in our
Oh.
society. Felicity gets to focus
Just
on
save up.
something like
You
this
could buy a sheriff
rather
if you
than
could
how
get
this is
it.
actually seriously
I
gonna affect
don't really
us.
use,
a black or brown woman who goes to the prison system, gets out. They don't have the luxury then of getting to go be the face of a non-profit. I'm not trying to come across as like I don't support this. I'm just trying to
No one
point
beat.
out
Oh, they're
that
eight, they're eight,
it's
they're eight,
so-
they're eight.
It's just it's frustrating. It's really frustrating.
They're eight.
She doesn't have to rebuild
You know
her
what?
life
Screw
just
it.
through
I'm ulting.
reputation. Even just the privilege in getting to break your silence. Getting a platform to get to talk about your experience,
planted.
get to talk about you. So my question is,
My bad.
and I wish the interviewer would answer this, does Felicity Huffman
65
believe
would be
that
on.
for real? Does she still think, it's one of those like, well, would
Sage,
you do
press,
that?
press,
Do you
Sage, press.
genuinely
Right
think
there.
that was the way? Because otherwise your daughter wouldn't have had a future. Like, does
Fall
Felicity
off and res,
Huffman
fall off and res.
understand now that her daughter is also extremely privileged and has a future because of that? I really wonder if in her 11 days,
Last
that she
player
thought to
standing.
herself, why would I ever think
What
that
the
my
heck?
daughter wouldn't have a future if I didn't
Alright,
break
screw
the
it. I'm
law?
ulting this time. I don't
Chet
care.
Haynes has a future, man.
Stay alive.
Chet Haynes.
I hate
The
making
truth
new friends.
is that
Bro,
Felicity
AFK,
Huffman's daughter
'cause every time
would have
someone's
gotten into a
AFK, we
college
can't remake.
unless she really is the stupidest person on the planet. But it's the idea that if Felicity Huffman's daughter didn't get into these elite colleges, then she doesn't have a future.
The educational consultant she hired to help her daughter get into college. Huffman was just one of dozens of wealthy and influential parents who faced federal charges in the sprawling bribery scheme that made headlines in 2019. The actress pled guilty to conspiracy to commit mail fraud and honest services mail fraud, serving 11 days in prison, paying a $30,000 fine, and participating in court-mandated community service. What does this Varsity Blues story tell us about the college admissions process? And as Felicity Huffman points out, the advantage that wealthy Americans might have when applying.
It certainly seems like they have an advantage, and when we've interviewed people behind the scenes, what they tell us, Elizabeth, is basically, you know, look, colleges are a business and money talks. So I remember we've interviewed one former college admissions counselor who said, when a college is faced with these choices
One
of
enemy
accepting
remaining.
a child whose family can
Geckos
pay
at the
for a
corner.
stiffer price,
Last
someone
player
whose
standing.
family
Come on.
might be
74
financially-
Geckos.
Exactly. You know,
These are
there's
the little
limited
74.
amounts of financial aid. Almost always they're
Sexual
going to
violence.
favor those kids who can pay for stiffer
Your
price.
tactics
Now,
failed.
we do hear about these stories of kids that get, you know, financial aid, big packages, full rides.
Are you sick
But
or something?
in each one of those cases, we're actually seeing a lot of kids who
I'm so
actually
sick with
are
it.
having to take out the student loan debt.
This is not just Felicity Huffman that we should be casting shame on. We should also be
Guys,
casting
Killjoy is
shame
carrying.
on the education system in this
Yeah,
country, on
he-
higher
he
education.
Killjoy.
The
I
fact that it
reported
is a business. The fact that things like this, where if you need financial aid, that hurts your chances of getting into a school. And now with the Supreme Court overturning things like affirmative action, higher education in this system works against middle class and lower income people in this country. That, you know, tends to be
They might be
heavily
playing back.
impacting black and brown
Bro, they're
communities.
playing.
There's multiple things happening here, but we can't lose sight of the fact that college has
Alright,
gotten out of
ulting.
control. Cost of college, the fact that more
Spike
and more
planted.
presidents of universities are making over $1 million. 20 years ago, 15 years ago, it was a handful. And now it's like who's not making $1 million?
Last
They
player
just keep
standing.
raising these prices
flash
arbitrarily,
game.
making it harder for students to have a future. Because those who are able to get into these schools are leaving
bad.
with mountains of student debt. Not like Felicity Huffman's daughter, like not having a future, but like real not
breaths,
having a
everyone.
future if you don't have a college degree. So we're not even just talking about elite colleges. We're talking about state schools. We're talking about the majority of colleges that are not elite
Well, that was a
institutions.
complete waste of
For
help.
instance, when my sister went to the University of Wisconsin, she started there in 2000 and
How did I miss
was
that
my
jump?
oldest sister. When my
That's crazy.
youngest sister, who's 10 years younger, when she started at the University of Wisconsin 10 years later, the price of admission
Alright,
had
let the
gone up
hunter.
$15,000.
in just 10 years.
Just a
for
random
state
Silva
school.
reference.
They're charging thousands of dollars more because
Hey,
business,
come
and
in.
because they can, charging thousands of dollars more a year to get a college degree, and the value of that degree lessening. Being able to leave college and not have any student loans is guaranteeing you a future over somebody who is graduating with a ton of student loans. Someone like Felicity Huffman's daughter has so many advantages over the majority of students in this country. No matter where she goes, no matter how much that college costs, she is not going to be graduating with six
player
figures of debt. And then
54
going
Omen,
into a job where she's
64
making
Gecko,
$30,000 or less a year.
What we're being told is that donors don't necessarily want to fund these programs.
What they want to fund are football stadiums. They want their name on a library,
Oh, we
for
got it.
example.
Clutch up. Everyone's clutch
Last
up.
round in the half.
Choices that these colleges
cannot
have
keep
to
our
make.
goods after
And at the end of the
Spend
day,
all.
we do know that
know that.
oftentimes the money is what works.
The money talks, as you say. Kelly, Felicity Huffman said she had to break the law to give her daughter that future.
Kelly is me.
You want something, Kale?
Is she really accepting accountability here by coming out and speaking out, or is she still sort of deflecting?
Feels a little bit like deflection
Thank
still,
you.
right?
Homeboy.
Because I think like a lot
Yo,
of
is this
people
wall right
back in
here?
2019 when this story first came about, I was confused. I still am. I think
Are
that
they
if
in?
you're a wealthy
Sure.
parent, why
Back
not
if they're
spend
in.
that $15,000 to get your kid the tutoring? You know, we already think that, you know, these children have a leg up over.
Exactly. You have the $15,000 to bribe an SAT tutor. Just do that with the
40
school.
Gecko.
That's how it works for rich people.
Spike
You
planted.
literally just donate money, and they're like, oh, okay, we'll send your kid in the hole.
And fully fund their college educations, but they also
Last player standing.
resources that other students just don't have access to. And so she's a victim in this way. It was egregious back then, and it still is egregious right now. And I think to not fully accept responsibility today for that feels
Switching
like a little bit of a
sides.
miss on her part.
You know what it feels like? It
I-
feels
I-
like
I'll
Felicity
take
Huffman
Spider-Man.
looked at her two options, okay? Spend $15,000 to bribe the SAT tutor, or not the SAT tutor, whoever it was that like changed the scores, or spend probably upwards of $1 million in a donation. And she looked at that, and even though she could afford $1 million donation like that, that's more money than $15,000. So let's be real.
Yes,
This wasn't
push.
just her looking at the
Sage, come with
situation
us.
going, I have to do something to get my daughter in. It was
Like,
calculating
slow push.
what is the cheaper route here.
I'll
Has
stay up
anything
here.
really changed since
No,
these
that's
headlines
not-
first came out?
just
Well, money's
No,
still
listen, I'll throw my
possible to be
knife.
on college campus,
Alright.
and you look at the trend of college presidents
Go
being
for
more business savvy than actually being representative of academia. I don't see that trend necessarily changing. But I tell you what's really disappointing for me as a parent myself is not that she cheated the system, it's not that she cheated her own daughter and having the capacity to understand how to manage disappointment.
Yeah.
Spike
as a
down,
dad,
mid.
My son got accepted to every school he applied for except for the one he really wanted to go to. I understand that
Yeah.
it's painful to see your child deal with disappointment. But you know what? He came out on the other side tougher, smarter, and more
Let's it in open. Right there, right there, right there, right
You
there.
can't teach, they can only live.
Yeah, right there. Good.
And unfortunately, Felicity robbed her daughter of that opportunity.
I cannot imagine being her daughter, knowing that my mom
Yeah, watch
thought
right
that this was the only option because I was so
Don't
stupid.
watch the box, watch the gap.
That my mom had to commit fraud. Can you imagine being her kid and finding that
Undoubtedly.
out? Devastating. Looking
One
back at
enemy
my
remaining.
life, has my mom done
Are you talking to me?
Was this just the first time?
No,
I
I'm
don't think
talking-
so. Yeah, that
Leo.
was a good panel to bring on to talk about this. It's not just having white people on to be like, Felicity has learned her lesson and she is doing good work now. What would we not do
Yeah, she's
for our
right there, he's right
children? I can't get over the line. Had to break the law
Good job.
to give her daughter a chance at the future. That to me tells me.
Okay, Sage, I have a really good play, but we need a plan.
True, I had to do it. I have no choice. 'Cause my daughter's so dumb. My daughter's
Next
so
time,
stupid.
I want the order.
Right? The truth is that
because
her daughter could have gone into college. It's just that the colleges
we won that, right?
Felicity
I'm a
Huffman
bisexual.
deemed worthy of going to were ones that, yeah, she probably couldn't get into.
Sage,
Ones
I have a
that
really
most
good play.
people Probably
Don't
cannot
buy
get
it,
into.
no, wait,
It's
don't, no,
about
no, buy
staying
Spectre, buy
in
Spectre,
your
buy Spectre,
sphere
or those.
of eliteness and not
'Cause we have the upper
going
hand.
to a
They're gonna buy
place
pistols.
that regular people go to.
Slow push.
Just regular middle to lower class
Uh-oh.
Americans go to.
Rotate, rotate.
Enemy and defender spawn.
Hello, Reva. This is your Alias of MRO.
You're gonna block me, okay?
Check up top.
It is what it is. Split.
Yep, good.
Okay, here it comes.
Sage, heal, please. Sage, where the hell are you?
Shut your ass up, you little whiny bitch.
Anyone knows that boy?
I'm literally escorting the spike. You told us to
Sage,
fucking. You told us to rotate.
Wall me in the corner.
Well,
Wall me in the corner. I'll be sitting.
Wall race.
Yeah. Amazing play.
You're fried meat. You know that, right? Like fried.
Wait, my ball.
Last player standing.
My boy, you're fried. You're dead.
I can't believe you guys didn't meet on my ball spot when I was always so fast and I pulled out a chicken and I opened my hand.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I answered that question.
Wait, do that safe play again, but buy a shirt. Buy a shirt.
I'm getting upset and I keep talking.
Do that safe play and buy a shirt. Buy a Spectre and buy a shirt. And do that same exact play. Let's go A. Go A.
We can't again because they're gonna be expecting it.
Still. I'll guard left and right.
Alright, bad.
Let's go A.
Good. You should feel bad.
Through the calm, I
Why are you
fight.
going mid?
Through the storm, I fight.
I'm on the fucking. Because I thought I could go forward. No!
I'm gonna ult this round.
I hit Neon. There's two there. B.
Oh shit. Look at the aerodynamic. It's me, you're you.
Play in Discord.
I have created the illusion that you're streaming to a large audience.
I got you.
But here's the truth. All these people are now you're going.
Just stay there.
And now.
Hey, guard right. You can guard right here.
I'm out of here.
He's low. Kill him.
I'm dead.
I will ban all.
That's crazy.
Damn.
130 on Gecko.
Good job.
I need you guys.
Sorry.
Clock ticking.
It's just one person.
Gotta go.
It's one man. They're all gone.
I want Spike. I want Spike.
IP bans.
No, let's do the same play. Let's do that same play.
Oh, I have ult. I'm gonna cook.
I have ult as well.
June 2014, a video
But I have to
emerged of
res you.
15-year-old
Alright,
Justin telling racist jokes about black people.
Neon, if you
using
could
the N-word
ult,
multiple times.
that would be amazing.
For months I have created the illusion that you've been streaming to
Ult.
a large audience. To prove it, I will now send this message from all of my accounts.
You know what I thought about the other day? I've been streaming for 8 years. I've been streaming for 8 years. Which is like
Thank
the
you.
birth of my life. Like, it's literally my life. 8 years and still no bitches.
I'm him.
In fact, my actions were continuing.
One enemy remaining.
Some people gave him the benefit of the doubt.
You are in our.
That's what I'm saying. I'm the best with right as ult.
Emirs, Emirs.
Stay alive. I want their life, not yours. Gotta go.
What do you need? Nine Cochranes were gifted to the race of femboys.
Let's go B. B. Come B. Neon, can you ult?
David, thanks for the reset. Be respectful. Who is that?
Ready to engage. Weapons hot.
No, on the flag, not Bertram. I don't know who that is.
In Mexico, one of my favorite things to do is drive home and bus stop and throw rocks at people and
Monster on the loose!
I pulled out my own. Here we go! Sharp parts of my teeth. I wipe blood on my walls.
Spike down, mid.
I am a degenerate.
No communication on where they're at all.
Why does he?
Because you don't want to talk to us.
Actually, I forgot.
forget about the blood wall after like.
Last player standing.
Flashbang
I keep getting reminded.
My bad.
Where is
Match
your
point.
blood wall?
Let them try to get through.
Blood wall. Okay, look. There's this idea that I'm.
Should we all just buy Odin's?
First of all, I have to say this again. I usually shower and bathe more than once a day.
You know what? Yeah.
Because it's not OCD.
Fuck this shit.
It's
Everyone
not
buy an
OCD.
Odin.
I don't know why I do it.
Yeah, fuck
It's
this
because
shit.
I get stressed out if
Let's
I
go.
don't. Two,
Take out Cypher's
my
tools.
room smells
Bro,
good.
fire! Odin! Oh my god.
I think it's right here.
Slow push! Oh my fucking god.
My ultimate is ready.
32 on
Spike
KO.
down mid.
Flag. What the thing is fucking my eyes just looking at it.
Last player standing.
What is this?
You got it. Come on. Trust. Good try.
Defenders win.
Screw Killjoy.
Is there another option? You shouldn't shower that much. It's bad for your skin and immunity. No, my skin's pretty dry. I use a lot of lotion, but it doesn't really work. I love that clip.
I was actually gonna buy the ones. It's a juicer, guys. No way. That's your content. No, I'm just on You want to?
I know that showering too much dries your skin out. I just don't care. I've said like 8 times how like at my peak anxiety, I would take 8 baths a day.
What a fucking
That was
mess.
what I was doing. Like I would literally wake up, take a bath, go to my computer, get on Discord, play League, take a bath. Go to my computer, maybe stream, take a bath. Eat dinner, take a bath. It was so fucking bad. It was actually just like peak depression.
Okay, you know, if you get the ring though, mine. Fair enough. You sure?
Get a chair here and then it.
Oh my god. Bro, you're good. My mom has the best sayings in the world. The Turkish ones I've heard so far. What's that one?
In some states, you go to jail for that.
And the Turkish ones I've heard so far. What's that one?
In some states, you go to jail for that. What, for wasting water in like California?
Your shovels. What does that mean? The month of March is like. It look like it's springtime. But in reality,
I don't even want to know how high my water bill was.
Here's Michigan. No, it's not. You look like a hound dog fucking a jug. When you're doing something poorly, you look like a dog trying to fuck a jug. Hustling at Honda disease. Yes. Hustling at Honda disease.
Dude, Will and Nick clips, I just never know what's going on that I hear some fucked up shit.
Lower than a snake's ass in a wagon train.
You're down. Oh, okay.
Yo, Squeaks, thanks for getting that $20 deal off Kick. I'm actually not kidding you. I was paid to not stream on Kick. I'm the first streamer because they want to like have like a cool clientele. Apparently, and they think that I would ruin their vibes.
What would you do if paratroopers dropped in your backyard? Obviously, I'm gonna dive out of the window into a front roll, alright? Going first for the legs, alright? Boom, right there, right ACL, out, boom, elbow to the top of the head, spinning back fist, I get his friend, okay? Then I pull out 2 knives that I have stored in my own asshole, alright? I pull them out, boom, into the back fist, right into the faces of the next 2, alright? I catch one of their guns as it falls from the ground, I turn around, mow down the last 3, and retire.
The cam difference? Oh, sorry. Guys, I'm a male streamer now. Thank you for supporting me all this time. I'm now becoming a man. Moon? Oh shit, what is that thing that Moon does? Hold on, this is important. Where is my camera? I have so many unused sources on OBS. It's a miracle I don't just drop frames doing anything. My Moon Moon cosplay, guys. I am Moon Moon today.
Awaiting instructions.
I told you to delete them 5 months ago and you said you did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 40. Why do I want an axiom? 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52. I have 52 unused OBS sources on this scene alone. She even has the outfit. Oh shit. Here we go. We're back to normal. What is she doing? Oh my god, no.
Enemy force detected. Enemy cruiser detected. Enemy battleship sighted.
It's tired.
You are so trash. I've never had a good time playing it.
Man, we are. Oh, yeah, nice.
Than usual. That's because I cut some of the hair and put it under my nose because I wanted a moustache to fit under the Parisians next week. There wasn't a lot there to move to under my nose, so I used some hair in addition to the hair from
Slash, thanks for 10 months.
something like this. What do you think? Does it look legit? I fooled almost everyone in chat, so I think it's pretty good. What do you call about the holy looks on bald people? An hairstylist. And what happens when two bald men put their heads together? They make an ass of themselves.
Okay.
I don't want to see this game anymore. I'm done with this fucking game. Come on.
Yeah, breach.
My father worked here as a builder, and he always had
That's how I speedrun games. Just fast, no brain, and die and get mad.
Oh man, I'm so mad.
Ah! I choked them all.
So good on camera. Oh, you mind if I consider it? Oh, sure, yeah, go ahead. There we go. Oh, no, that's, she likes that.
I'm grateful to be your boyfriend.
Torpedoes to starboard.
Okay, James, I think I'm ready.
My body is ready. So very ready.
Maybe just do the shuffle, it's fine. Okay, here we go. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go!
Shuffle. shuffle.
You can shuffle.
That's so cool.
Why don't you give it a try? I'm
What?
shuffling.
No, I thought that was cool as fuck. That was so cool.
Thank you.
I have to go over here and park.
Okay. Make sure the mic is turned up.
It's okay.
They're both Pongo.
Really funny.
Oh.
Why did that come back? I hate that the throat thing came back.
That was class, bro.
It's
I thought I recovered. I didn't do that for like a full year and it randomly came back.
Stop her. Stop her.
Yeah, but that came back bad.
She walked straight into it. Ew! You don't smell it? What is wrong?
I'm getting sides.
And I'm like, how do you even have herpes? And she's like, someone I know had herpes. And I'm like, you don't have herpes. I'm like, dude,
What was she talking about?
Like, he was like, I have it. I know I have it. And I'm like, Mom, you burnt your tongue in my miso soup this morning. And she goes, kaede soka. And I'm like, yes, Mom, you don't have herpes. Like, dude.
25% of people have herpes? That's not true. What percent of people have herpes?
Depends on which type of herpes you're talking about, girl.
There's a lot of types. 67% that got tested. Thank God I'm a virgin. You have a mom though. Your mom you could have herpes from when you were born. Oh, that was a fun discovery.
Baby, turn on the kick stream.
Windows security. Microsoft has scanned your device and no threats are found. Oh, bro, I was actually scared for a sec.
What an ending.
Activating instructions.
Oh, how are there still more? A later section.
Mm-hmm. And I don't really want. Bill Cosby? Did Bill Cosby die?
All forces, provide cover for that target. Awaiting instructions.
Okay, Google. Did Bill Cosby die?
Trump fake elector has turned evidence on him in Michigan, and I think it's absolutely damning. And if you've never heard how Trump tried to overthrow democracy, this is an excellent explanation of it. So now, of course, we've got all the news for you guys today on the Young Turks, Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you're watching the live show with Anna and I, of course, on youtube.com/The Young Turks. And if you can be a member, that would be great. Helps our honest reporting. We appreciate it. You could hit the join button below. Okay, now let me tell you about what happened. This is James Renner in Michigan. He was one of the 16 fake electors that they have there. The fake electors were people who were supposed to meet and sign papers, which they did, saying that Donald Trump had won the election, even though he clearly had not, especially in Michigan, where he had lost by 150,000 votes and the election was already certified. In fact, this is critical, guys. In this report, you're going to see that a Republican in Michigan refused to do this because she knew that this was illegal and that and she was an elector for Trump. Remember, both sides pick electors, and whichever side wins the state, their electors go to the electoral college. She was one of Trump's electors and said, I will not sign this paper. I will not do this because we lost. This is illegal to do this. So there were people in the Republican Party who clearly knew that it was trying to basically do a coup and to overturn the results of the election, and that's why they refused to participate. The people that are being tried in 3 different states now are the ones that did participate in that conspiracy, the forgery, and basically the insurrection. The insurrection on the ground, I know it's a compelling video, but they were not going to hold the building. That was not how they were going to overthrow democracy. They were going to overthrow through this method of using fake electors. So let me explain. Renner was among the 16 that Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel brought charges against. She did not bring charges against the lawyers yet or Donald Trump yet, which I think she absolutely positively should. I think that a lot of the prosecutors, especially Merrick Garland at the federal level, have been totally derelicting their duty. They have been way too slow. They should have done this case the minute the election was over and Trump was out of office. Now in Michigan, they're doing pretrial hearings in February, and they're going to vote in the primary on February 27th in Michigan. It's one of the early states. Look, I appreciate that she brought up this case, but they have moved way, way too slow here. People have to understand the danger that we're in, as Donald Trump has already once tried to end our democracy. All right, let me give you more details. Renner says, I can't overemphasize how once I read the information on the January 6th transcripts, how upset I was that the legitimate process had not been followed. I felt that I had been walked into a situation that I shouldn't have ever been involved in. And I'm going to give you more quotes from him in a minute. Remember, Arizona and New Mexico are also considering charges. Jesus, how long is it going to take, you guys? There was a literal coup attempt. Up and at 'em. The way that everyone takes this so lightly drives me crazy. So Detroit News has already reported that Trump, of course, had called 2 members of the Wayne County Board of Canvassers to try to pressure them in December of 2020 not to certify the elections. So go outside of the regular process. Do not put in the electors that actually should go to the Electoral College. Do not certify the results. Guys, if you're a Republican or MAGA out there, I need you to understand that there is a way to challenge an election. It doesn't mean you shouldn't challenge an election. It doesn't mean you shouldn't audit the vote. You shouldn't do any of those things or do a recount. You're perfectly within your rights to ask for all of those things. This is beyond that. This is saying, we know we lost, but we don't care. When they go to court, they not only did they lose, as you're going to see in the story, they knew they were going to lose. So this is extrajudicial. This is, okay, the legal process is not going to vindicate us. We lost the election. I don't care. I want power. Let's ruin democracy. So, by the way, Renner is a former state trooper, a retired businessman, a lifelong Republican, volunteered for the Republican Party in his county, etc. So, upstanding citizen, upstanding Republican, etc. Now, to give you a sense of why I'm saying they knew, Laura Cons, the former chairwoman of the state Republican Party in Michigan, I'm now quoting the New York Times, testified that she and other local party officials had drafted language for the electors to sign that made clear they were only acting.
That was a pretty good battle, actually.
In the event that Trump's campaign election litigation succeeded. Now, that at that point is legitimate. That's okay to say, hey, you know what? Trump already has his electors, as they do in each state. And if we win the litigation, then those electors are going to go instead. Nothing wrong with that, right? But she had COVID and didn't go on December 14th. The Trump campaign took out her language about how it's only on a contingency basis. Instead, here, I'll give you the quote. She said the Trump campaign went against her instructions by not including such language. On purpose, they took out the contingency part and said, no. This isn't if we win the litigation. Why? Because they knew they weren't going to win the litigation. They didn't have any evidence, let alone evidence to overturn a result by 150,000 votes. They didn't have close to that evidence. So Trump's lawyers took out the part from another Republican in Michigan saying, "Hey, remember this is only a contingency basis." They erased that. I was like, "Yeah, under any circumstances, we're going to send these electors." And so now, Terry Lynn Land, a former Michigan Secretary of State, was originally designated as a 2020 Republican elector. So she's one of the legitimate electors. So they say to her, "Hey, you're a former Secretary of State, again, deep Republican. So why don't you come to this December 14th thing and be one of these electors?" She's like, "No, I'm not going to do that. That's not legitimate. This election has already been certified. There's no evidence. There's no way we're going to win in any litigation. Besides which, you're not even at this point saying it's on a contingency basis. You're just saying that these are fake electors. No, I'm not going to be involved in that." See, because she knew, unlike Renner, she knew the law. So she knew they were trying to cheat, and she knew they were. Now, look, I'm telling you what was in the paper, and now my analysis of that is it appears that she did not participate because she knew that they were trying to erase the actual legitimate elections of our democracy. What kind of people do that? Well, the Trump team does it because they never believed in democracy. They just believe in raw power. And if it meant that Trump was going to stay in office, they didn't give a damn that it was a coup attempt and that they were going to destroy our democracy. They'll do it again. They'll do it again. So these guys have no checks on them. So, and next time around, they're going to have even less checks. So back to Renner, he said, "I knew nothing about the electoral process. I was accepting the individuals that were in authority knew what they were talking about." Guys, I'm not here to say, "Oh, look, the other electors that are being prosecuted in Michigan and Georgia and all the other states that I mentioned, like, oh, they're the world's worst people, they're evil people, etc." A lot of them, I suspect, are like Renner. They had no idea that they were fake electors. And so a bunch of Trump lawyers come in and go, "Oh, yeah, sign the paperwork if you like Trump. Oh, yeah, we won the election. Sure, you're the real election. Sure. Sign the papers." Now, they shouldn't have. They should have known better. It's a legal document. They committed a crime there, right? So I'm not excusing their actions, but I bet a lot of them had no idea. And I bet you to this day, tons of them still think that Trump won the election. If you're MAGA, you've got to understand the rest of us, all of society, all of the world thinks and knows. I'm sorry, but that you guys are totally detached from reality. In the real world, the Trump team went to court over 60 times. They lost every single case and never presented one piece of evidence. The facts are overwhelming. Trump definitely lost, and then he definitely cheated to try to overthrow the results of the election. I know you don't believe it. I know you'll never believe it, but I'm here to tell you, whether you hate me or not for it, you're in a cult. And in cults, reality gets warped. And don't get me wrong, Democrats have their own cults. They think that their leader's going to win when he's incredibly unpopular. They think that the corrupt politicians are God's gift to humanity. Some, not all of them, not most of them, but a lot of them think that way. Certainly they do in Washington. And they think, "Oh, no, campaign contributions, that's not corruption. Millions of dollars to a politician, it's just them talking." So they have their own cult, and they're detached from reality in a different way. But in this case, democracy is actually on the line. So for God's sake, snap out of it. Pick another Republican. Anyone could beat Biden. Biden is so weak. You could pick a local Republican broadcaster and beat him. You don't have to pick a guy who hates our democracy, who believes in a dictatorship. So, all right,
Right, enough of that shank. You fucking Uger.
It's 3 years. I learned more in that 10-week period of working for those guys than I did in 3 years of film school, which makes sense. Very kinetic sort of environment. Everybody's learning as they go. Mostly me, because everybody else was very good at their job already. But yeah, that show rules. It's the luckiest show if you get a job on that show. Or you are the luckiest person if you get a job on that show. Everybody's treated amazingly well to this day. Which party member are you hoping to end up with in Baldur's Gate?
Fuck. What the fuck?
Higher than the average in-game load test. This goes to show that it's not only an all-core Blender load that'll push CPUs towards the upper bound, but also everyday work, like loading applications, changing levels, pulling assets for a save game. These things might involve compression or decompression or other types of instructions that'll fully load the CPU briefly. The 1200F was also the lowest overall power draw, which isn't surprising. It's a good CPU for its price class, and it's not that power hungry. In Starfield, the average peaks were about 68 watts for the 7800 X2D, 79 watts for the 5800 X2D, and 206 for the 14700K, and 244 for the 14900K. So again, it's not as high as the average during actual gameplay, which is shown next to each CPU
Okay,
game.
I'll
But
exit the
it's
game.
high
I'll
during
restart
those
the game
intermediary
launcher. I'll
periods
restart
where
Epic
we're loading or
Games, and we'll
preparing
see
the
what
game
happens.
and the benchmarks. In Baldur's Gate 3, which was overall a middling game for in-game power consumption, despite generally a high focus on the CPU, we still saw high spikes on the Intel i7 and i9
Epic down
category.
again.
The 7800 X2D was also a significant percentage higher than the average at 72 watts. 14900K was around 235 to its 146 watt average in-game power drop. Out of curiosity,
Of
we
course,
also
when I
did
wanna
this for
go
7-bit.
play
We already know Blender is mostly stuck at the max, but
Major
here we saw
outage.
similar. The
Yeah,
1200F
okay.
shows us just how it looks
That
when
makes
you're already
sense
close
then.
to the max. 41 watts average against 42.
Try it one more
with
time.
10.3 non-consecutive highs. The 14900K was only 7 watts over its average with this measurement. 7800 XCD was also a couple watts over its average. This final section is just to put it all into perspective. Ultimately, the question is, so what? And how much the efficiency matters is up to you. On a scale of a single person, especially at our electricity cost here of 10 cents per kilowatt hour, the difference in total cost is basically a rounding error when it comes down to just the power. But for people in more expensive areas, or if you ignore cost, and you just look at the energy consumption impact multiplied across millions of
I
users,
probably can't play
it
this
starts
either.
to
huh?
matter a lot more. We're not qualified to make environmental charts, so let's just look at the numbers. This chart looks at the total cost per year in US dollars, calculated using our total shut-in gaming assumption of 8 hours per day, with the heaviest game in our test, Cyberpunk. We used 6 rates that we found across a few online services that aggregate the average cost in populous areas. In our recent YouTube community post, some of you told us that you pay 45 cents per kilowatt hour or more, like in Germany. So obviously the numbers can be higher than what we're going to show here. Likewise, anyone with a variable rate should just assume the most likely time you're going to be gaming for the rate. Starting at the extreme of 39 cents per kilowatt hour for what's on our chart, at 8 hours of heavy gaming load per day for 365 days, you'd be at a total cost of $70 for the 7800 X2D's power consumption, or $223 for the 14900K. This is ignoring all other components. This is maybe an instance where it could start to matter, but we are in the heaviest load. Likewise, the 14700K at stock versus 86 watts locked is approaching a $100 difference at 39 cents per kilowatt hour USD. Where we live, we're spoiled by cheap electricity from local nuclear plants. At 10 cents per kilowatt hour, the annual difference at 8 hours a day would be $30 between the 14700K and the 7800.
Well, let's go see if Call
you
of Duty
assume
wants
a
to
more
play.
normal utilization and less of a shut-in utilization of 2 hours per day, that'd be closer to $7.50 or so per year energy cost difference. The more expensive your electricity and the more you game, the more this might be relevant to you. We can't fit every cost on this chart, but you can pull up a kilowatt hour cost calculator and run the numbers for yourself. And remember again, this is sort of a worst case scenario, and you're going to burn power on something. So for this one, we're looking at the CPU. And that should help with perspective to answer that so what question. And it's really up to you if you care or not. So to wrap up then, in a lot of these scenarios, without any controls whatsoever, just letting them do their thing out of the box, and then sort of normal Expo and XMP stuff,
Gotta go
AMD is
play
not
the
only
finals.
producing better gaming performance in raw frame rate, but at a lower power consumption. And since these two are directly correlated in the formula itself, it makes sense that the efficiency is therefore higher in those situations. And that gives AMD an efficiency advantage in most of the games we tested. Even when we lock the power or the FPS, generally speaking, AMD still maintained an overall efficiency advantage. Now, critically, Blender shows that the 14700K can gain an edge when power is constrained, as opposed to the 7800 X2D, although it also has a performance edge here. But that's not true in every production benchmark. In Photoshop, AMD pulled ahead. So, unfortunately for Greg number 2, that paycheck's going to have to go, because every single workload was the qualifying statement there. And it didn't. It actually was not better in every single workload. So, sorry, Greg. You can keep the money or give it to Cat Ant. I don't really care. But we got some cool data out of it. Now, ultimately, we can create as many abstractions and calculations as we want, But it's tough to argue the fact that Intel is operating overall at a less efficient point in its VF curve. That's just fact. The CPUs, especially out of the box, are blasting power to maintain that last bit of frequency bump that they need to stay as competitive as they typically are in gaming scenarios. And yes, we can modify the V-core, we can reduce the power target, we can constrain these CPUs, but at some point, it's not fair to say, but you can do that for one, and then not consider it for the other. It just becomes sort of an arms race, an escalation, or a race to zero, maybe in this case, for power consumption. So AMD can, of course, also be undervolted, but out of the box, no tuning, AMD generally is ahead, or it's ahead more often than it's behind, at least between the 7800 XD and something like a 14700K or 14900K. The 12100F is actually remarkably efficient, and that's because when you think of the volt frequency curve, the amount of frequency you get for the significant increase in voltage required towards the back end of that curve, it just starts to go down. And so something like an i799, it's already at that less efficient part of the curve. It starts to jump up in the voltage requirement. This testing was extremely educational. We enjoyed it a lot. It taught us a lot about the processes and about the processors. And we think there are a lot more metrics we can derive from this work. Likewise, we think it's probably something we can begin including long-term in our reviews process. It won't be this many games, but we'll probably pick one or two long-term representative titles and use them for charts like these in reviews. One interesting point here is that as the overall power consumption comes down, so if the per core power consumption is reduced either from external constraints or just because the game is not really utilizing them that much, AMD's baseline tends to be kind of high relatively to purely relative sense. Because it's I/O die just to maintain base operation, without any external modification, has a relatively high power. So more notable, we might see close to 100 watts for the I/O die alone in some of the workloads we tested and demonstrated in those reviews. But anyway, this has been really cool, and we're excited about it. Let us know which of these games you think might be the ones you want to see in long-term reviews. That would be genuinely helpful for us. Which are popular, but I'm going to ask you to pick two. It's a lot of work to do these tests, and we just want to pick two for long term. So it's got to be something that you're going to be okay with seeing for the next 2 to 3 years. You're going to run everything through those two games. So choose wisely. You probably want one that's on the high end, and then the other one is still really good. I mean, Cyberpunk or Starfield for that higher low, and then the other one, I'm not really sure. You've got a couple options in here. You all can discuss it in the comments. But for this, we will be soon updating the GN Megacharts page for function. This was a really common request, and we completely agree with it too. For people who are asking about, hey, for this big Megacharts, which we also agree with. So anyway, we're going to be updating that page with you for the next couple of weeks or so, and that gives us a pretty fun data set to work on, and let us know what ideas come of it. There's a lot more that can be done here. This has been a generally underrepresented aspect of reviewing CPUs for our testing over the years, and now we get to do cool stuff. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting. As always, go to store.gamersnexus.net to help us out directly, or patreon.com/gamersnexus. And Greg, you can just send that paycheck over to Cat Angels or something, because let's be real, you said every single workload. /gamersnexus. And Greg, you can just send that paycheck over to Cat Angels or something, and because
saying that.
let's be real, you said every single workload, and that was not the case. Thanks for watching so much.
Christmas came early.
Makarov.
Actually, it came
He taught me the power of a strong idea.
But it took all that time to find the parts
All
that
it
I needed to
needs
make this thing
is
work.
a spark.
Tiny Raspberry Pi computer.
And if it
This
catches,
custom game board can emulate
it can be
thousands of games from gaming consoles,
explosive.
even from Mac or DOS computers. This thing is growing up, there were 3 types of families: Nintendo families,
Bastards
Sega
thought
families,
they could
and
contain
families
me.
that didn't get to experience the joy of
Humiliate
kids
me.
fighting over the single.
Hey, there's an easier way to get color.
This slab of plastic was 6-year-old me's holy grail gaming device. If I had one of my own, I would be able to play through a whole game without seeing someone else play it first. But back then, I didn't have the IT skills to make enough money to buy one. So instead, I would wait for my cousin to bring his to a family party, or a friend to the playground. And again, I would be at best second on the totem pole, and I'd only get a few minutes to play. But that screen, it was so rich with all those 4,000 colors. And Nintendo had nothing on it.
Hey man, get portable. Get a Game Gear Supersonic Sports Pack. A color portable Game Gear, carrying case, and 2-hit game. Game Gear Supersonic Sports Pack. You know who makes it.
Coffee? Tea?
A used broken Game Gear. I actually have two now. This blue one here is from Julian from Brady Repairs. He's the guy who basically rescued us on the Mr. Beast set wiring project earlier this year.
He is literally like the button figure in the media.
Oh yeah.
He's the only one here who's like good at doing the little prints that you need.
I get it. I did like 600 of them, and I can't feel my fingers.
The sad thing is, these things are dying by the thousands and tossed in the trash. It's a shame because they are decently comfortable. I mean, the form factor's having a bit of a resurgence with the Nintendo Switch and the Steam Deck. Stick a modern LCD on it and RetroPie, and these shells can have a new life. And that's exactly what I did with this. Z-Arcade is a retro game company in the UK run by John Madison. He designed a kit to completely gut and replace the innards of any broken Game Gear with a Raspberry Pi. I reached out last year, and John kindly sent over this kit early this year, but it took until last month to find a compute module I could buy to put in it. So now that I finally have that, it's time to open up the Game Gear. And you know what? That reminds me of this video sponsor, Grid. Now, I actually talked to Grid Studio last year too, and it's been so long they probably forgot about this sponsorship. So I might not even get paid for saying this, but I still think it's cool enough to show you, pay or no pay. This is a completely torn down Game Gear in a beautiful display. Grid has this and a bunch of other retro tech available on their store. And like the iPhone teardown I gave to my dad for Father's Day, each one is a beautiful work of art. And this one in particular highlights how far we've come since early 90s handheld gaming. I mean, look down here. This thing is the backlight for the screen. No wonder this thing chewed through batteries. Half the board space is dedicated just to the display circuits. Nowadays, we have thinner, brighter, and better screens, and cleaner audio circuits. And, well, you get the idea. But I love how Grid's frame devices are put together like the works of art they truly are. So many devices, even mass-produced handheld game consoles, are works of engineering art, and I'm all here for it. Check out Grid Studios using the link in the description. Now, instead of ripping apart this blue Game Gear, I actually found a shell on eBay for just a few bucks. It's not in perfect condition, so I also bought a few extra buttons and a new front screen cover from Handheld Legend. They also sell a ton of other replacement parts, so if you're missing something, that's a great site to visit for parts. But I dumped everything out and started organizing. I got the full main gear kit. At the center of everything is this board with the LCD and button pads on one side, and plugs to make the Pi, power, and audio to the daughter boards on the back. You can actually use a bunch of different Pi models, like the 0, 02, or A+, or even a CM4 like I'll be using with this adapter board. I'll be putting that board inside this used shell. It could maybe use a little more cleaning, but I'll save that for some other time. This little power board plugs into the main board, and it has USB-C power input, supports up to 2 batteries, and has an on-off switch that runs a safe shutdown of the Pi. This expansion breakout plugs into the Pi's USB and microSD slots, and lets you get at those through the Game Gear cartridge slot. And here's a comparison of the Game Gear's original audio board and the one for main gear. The circuit's a lot smaller nowadays. Then I have a bunch of odds and ends, from these neat Sonic stickers to all the extra buttons, membranes, and screws I might need. There isn't currently a full text guide on how to put these things together, so I had to watch a couple YouTube videos on how to do it. This video is not going to go quite that deep, but the one part that was a little daunting was drilling extra holes for 4 buttons. This isn't absolutely necessary. I mean, you can play any of the Game Gear games with just the 2 built-in buttons, but I wanted to be able to play almost any retro games, so I bought this resin button holder bracket, and then decided to also 3D print a drill template. My printer didn't do the best job since I haven't used it in a while and forgot to level the bed, but it's good enough. Now, if you do this, it's probably the hairiest part of the whole build. It's tough for a few reasons. Drilling plastic is hard, and then there's the interior metal coating that'll bite into the drill bit. Plus, you can't easily clamp down the shell, or you risk breaking it. So for me, I took the top case home so I could use my drill press. I drilled slowly, being careful to not chop my fingers up in the pit. Probably safer to clamp it down somehow, but it worked out okay, and my fingers are all still here. After a bit of cleaning up with the rasp, I tried to get the edges as neat as possible. I actually missed a little on one of the holes, so my half-inch hole became a little more like an oval, but all's well that ends well. I made sure everything actually worked before I put it inside the case. So I plugged it all in and carefully flipped it over and tested it out. And it works. It's not very easy to use without the case though. The buttons are a little finicky that way. But now it's time to get this thing all put together. One thing that immediately made it look 1,000 times better was replacing that beat up old screen cover. I used a utility knife, but I probably could have been a little more delicate. The top edge has a little bit of a scratch on it. I picked up all the remaining adhesive with my pliers so the new glass could stick on cleanly. And the new glass is almost a perfect replica. It certainly looks 1,000 times better. No having to look through a hazy, scratched up screen anymore. But assembly was just a matter of lots of little screws and lots of little plugs. It's always a bit cathartic to put together hardware like this, especially after you work with some of the ridiculously tiny wiring of some SBC hardware. Plugging everything in, you have to kind of hold it half open like a book, and a few of the wires are a bit annoying, but only the speaker wire got caught up in the case when I closed it up. I wound up having to tape that down to the main board, but now it's time to see if it still works. I like having that splash screen to quickly confirm that the screen and the speaker both work. And if I scroll through and find Sonic for Game Gear, it works too. I did experience a little stuttering, and after some testing I found out some of the default emulators need to be changed to get full speed on the Compute Module 4. Like on Sega Genesis, I swapped out the default Genesis Plus GX for Pico Drive. Otherwise, like when I was playing Earthworm Jim, a lot of the game could be a choppy mess. With Pico Drive, I got 60 FPS all day long. And before I tested other games, I also plugged in a keyboard. That's right, this thing has USB. You couldn't do that on an old Game Gear. Using a keyboard, you can use the Linux console directly on the Game Gear, and, well, the screen isn't great for text, but it's like the Stream Deck's tiny little blocky text brother. But what's cool is that means I can also SSH into this thing, so I can load games on it or back it up all over Wi-Fi. And I used a Compute Module 4, but like I said, you can use a Raspberry Pi Zero 2W or even a 3A+, both of which would use even less power and get better battery life. And that CM4 should be faster than the Mole 2 console
what's up, boys?
a couple years ago. It runs on the Zero 2W,
What's up,
but it's in
man?
trouble with some PlayStation and N64.
What's up, bro?
The Compute Module 4 is a lot faster, and to prove that, here's Gran Turismo 2 running just fine on the PlayStation emulator. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 also ran fine, and even Nintendo 64 emulation runs pretty smooth, though with occasional glitches. Older games like NBA Jam and Earthworm Jim ran games too, complete with that bland monochrome color palette. Everything worked great with the built-in speaker or through my headphones, and just like on the Knoll 2, running some of these old games with headphones on makes the experience way different. I could never appreciate some of these games' soundtracks on the old color TV we used when I was a kid. This thing is far from perfect though. There are a few things about it I do like, and I don't think this build is for everyone. First, I think the current design is best for Type-0 or A+. My CM4 seems to get undercooked warnings sometimes, and a few times in the course of
hello?
things, I even get these write errors when my micro SD card would get corrupted. I think
Enemy
the power
soldier
memory
incoming.
from either battery or USB-C. And battery life wasn't amazing with just one. There's a battery extension cable to get the other battery life, so I didn't have a
Yo! Hello?
battery, I guess that's a feature.
Yo!
Based on the legacy of the Game Gear, only getting a few
Hello?
hours of battery. Also, because I had to swap out the micro SD card a few times, I got a little frustrated with the location. It's nice and flush with the cartridge slot. But
Yo, hello, bro.
over. Now you deploy to the
Stop being a dick.
What's a little frustrating was the software side.
Yo,
There
bitch
isn't a
ass
whole
up.
lot of documentation.
You shut your stupid ass
So if you
up.
want to customize your setup, you have to do a
Alright, can you hear
reverse
me?
engineer. It is a pretty standard RetroPie build, which
Can you hear
is
me?
good, but I had to figure out what screen, sound, and GPIO pins it uses for.
Grab your
And
shoes.
the FAQ mentions you shouldn't update the
Rules of
system
engagement are
to
simple.
break the drivers.
Weapons free
Alright,
on all
scrap
threats.
it.
That's certainly
What?
not-
Yo, bitch ass talking to you like that, bro.
What?
You use cursing at bitches now. You was cursing at bitches now, bro. You just called me a dick, bro.
Yes, I did that. Yeah.
Why
What
the
are you
fuck, why the fuck you call me a dick for?
Royale.
What?
Gas is closing on your position.
go here.
Suggest you hightail it out of there.
Y'all wanna go here?
Sure.
Alright, bet.
Yeah,
Scrappy, why you
there's a
say that for,
KFC
huh?
over there.
Why you say that, Scrappy? Tell me, bro. Yo, what the fuck?
This isn't role play fucking Thursday, buddy.
bro?
You're being tracked by an enemy squad. Evade and survive. Gas is moving.
Here's a bounty contract.
All right, your squad's in the safe zone. Positive ID on the bounty targets. Hunt them down.
Okay.
How do I drop my weapon to run faster?
No idea. Probably hit down on the D-pad and then hit A, or depending, I don't know if you're on a control.
No, I'm on keyboard and mouse.
Well, however you get to your backpack, you can do it that way, and then just hit whatever.
Dude, the
A
same
would
way
be.
you drop anything else from your backpack, you can drop your
No,
gun
no,
as
but
well.
so you don't run
If you
faster if you
use
don't
your
have a
mouse.
gun out when you go to run?
No.
Yeah, I mean, no, yeah. You should in theory.
No, but what I'm saying is like if you don't, can't you?
Oh, we got guys.
Can't you put your gun away in this?
Oh no, you cannot put your gun away, or you drop it, or that's it.
Let's go kill this fucking team. Oh, they're driving away, you fucking cease.
We have the bounty next to
Oh,
us.
bounty's right here.
Yeah.
So you always have a
let's
gun
do it.
out during this when you're running or not?
Yeah.
Yeah. I see him. He's behind the wall.
Nice.
Primary objective complete. All targets eliminated. The enemy is no longer tracking you. You lost them.
I don't think we got a squad wipe yet.
You got a loadout drop inbound.
Let's go to the loadout really fast.
Put a mortar on that team.
Gas is moving in. New safe zone located.
You want to push this team up here that was just on our thing?
Oh, I see them dropping.
Oh, they're in the
But
street.
Yeah, I have shitty guns though. I mean, I'd rather
Knocked
go
one?
to the loadout.
Killed one? Damn, I just fucking lit that dude up. I think there's one on me.
One inside here. Was. One other one dead.
There's still one more on me, I think. Unless he's in the sky.
Gas is inbound.
Well, I'm going to grab the loadout no matter what.
Fuck me.
Your squad made it to the safe zone.
Yeah, there's still one guy on me right now. I don't know what you guys are doing over. Like, what you guys got? Any guys on you?
You want us to? You want us to come to you?
Oh,
No, I don't know where the fuck he went, but I'm gonna fall back a little bit.
there is people coming to the loadout as well.
You're alone at the loadout.
Yeah, I know. I'm coming towards you guys. I was just letting you guys know.
Yeah, there's only one dude. I don't know. He probably ran away, but.
Or is it just
I
the
don't know where
three
he
of
went.
us? Did that other dude leave?
No, we got four.
you-
Guy just
No.
jumped in over here. Yell, I think you got a dude on you. Oh wait, that's your ping. Never mind. Yeah, there's a dude on
But
your
yeah,
ping though.
the guy left. Our teammate. Oh, we have a...
Fuck. Okay. Try and kill these fucking dudes. Fuck, I
They're here.
can't hop that wall?
Be careful, Mike, they're here.
I don't see where this dude is.
Oh no, fuck. Oh, wow.
You got gas inbound. Safe zone relocated.
Yeah, I got one dude on me at least. No way you know where I'm at.
Your squad mate is in the gulag.
Wow.
If they survive, they redeploy.
Knew exactly where I
Your squad mate
was.
was sent to the gulag. They'll fight for a chance to redeploy. Supply boxes marked. Secure those locations. Your squad mate failed their mission. They're headed back to base. Squad mate, redeploying to the AO. You're losing ground. Move it. Head to the safe zone.
Alright, where's this fucking...
Can I buy you back or something? Or we're all three in here?
We can buy one back, but we just need to get to a buy station.
Is that dude even into this though? Or isn't there three of us already playing?
No, I think Yellow was playing, wasn't he? I mean, I don't know. I don't really
I had
care.
someone right in front of me right here.
Alright, I'm coming.
Contract failed. You lost the objective.
Yeah, there's a dude over here. Fuck, not over there. Right here. Yeah, I ping. There we go. The hell is Pink at?
Hey.
Fuck, and the storm's coming. Alright, Blue, it's just us here. Is he all the way over there? Buy station.
Squad mate has entered the gulag. They'll need to survive to redeploy. Gas is closing in. Relocating the safe zone.
I haven't played this game for like months.
Okay, there's dudes right here. I'm going in.
Gas is closing in. Move to the safe zone.
Trying to give you some cover. I hit him a little bit.
I know, I'm just fucking with these dudes. I knocked one of them down.
Yeah, but they got him up. That's who I was shooting when they were trying to revive that guy. Yeah, they're under you. Behind you, behind you.
Yeah, I ran out of AR ammo, so.
Solid copy. Counter UAV running signals interference.
para acá, güey.
Gas is inbound, marking a new safe zone. Gulag is closed until further notice. Counter UAV disengaging.
Can I redeploy you?
Friendly loadout drops on the way.
Yeah, if there's a buy station and you have enough for it. Hold on, let me a second. But yeah. Or if you find a redeploy thing too. But good luck. Yeah, it only costs like 3K or some shit. I would just get me in and then just get out of there and I'll land somewhere else on, like, near. Unless this building's fucking wide open, then I can just land on you. Oh yeah, get me in and get out of there. Like, I'm just gonna land somewhere around the area. Shit. Okay.
Is that marking that for you or not?
Yeah, you know, yeah, I can see it.
I don't remember how all this shit works.
Alright, let's see where the circle ends up and then we'll...
I got a little, here, you want
Gas
this,
is
bitch?
closing in. Get to the new safe zone.
I don't need that. Alright, let's start trying to get to circle here. Let's go up this back fucking mountain. Ah, you gotta be shitting me. I guess I could just do this.
I have a drone.
A C4 one, or?
You're losing ground. Move it. Get to the safe zone.
This thing ain't letting me get up this hill.
Yeah, you might have to go around. I'm kind of up here right now.
Oh, I'm in, but I just got shot at.
Yeah, there's a team right on me. Dude, no way you know where I'm at. Oh, there's a full team. Fucking A.
You got gas inbound. Safe zone relocated.
Yo, get away from me. Fucking up my camouflage.
Yo, I'm not even good. This is my first game. Oh, you assholes.
25 remaining. It's a valiant effort.
Good try.
Keep your head up. Return to base for debrief.
No sympathy.
Got gas moving in.
What? I gotta go watch that one immediately. User can get removed. Bang. Boom. Wow, we're all the way back to that girl.
Brought to you by our friends over at Brilliant, who are by far the best way to learn math, data science, and computer science interactively in a fun way at your own pace. New lessons are added every single month, and regardless of what your skill level is, whether you're all the way at the beginning or you have actual experience in the field, Brilliant customizes content to take your needs and solve at your own pace. Me, when it comes to YouTube, I have to get there and analyze a lot, and me, learning things like data science and how data can actually be covered allows me to better optimize that data and exactly what you got to work. And make sure to go to our link in the description, starting free for 30 days. And if you're the first 200 people to go, 20% off an annual plan. Ladies and viruses on that plan. Ladies and gentlemen, that's brilliant.org/SOP. That said, let's go to the video. Hello guys and gals, me Mudahar, and today we're taking a look at malware. And ladies and gentlemen, I have a cyber nuke, a cyber bomba, so to speak, sitting on my computer. Now you might be wondering, well Muda, what are you doing with a cyber demolition device? Ladies and gentlemen, I bought this for $500. Now you might be wondering, whoa, where'd you buy this for $500? So to give you an idea, this is a group known as VX Underground. You probably have heard of them a fair bit. I've talked about them on my channel a couple times. They're friends of the channel. And of course, they were selling this drive for $500. The reason I paid $500 was because A, I wanted to give these guys some support, and B, I wanted to have all of the malware samples and viruses and nasty devices that can destroy computers, ruin businesses, ruin marriages even, sitting on my desk right here. Now as you can see, this is plugged in, ready to go, and we're going to go explore into some of the darkest malware in life. So to give you an idea, anytime I do things like virus investigations or look at a virus, I have to go through the process of creating malware samples.
I'm talking to tonight. I'm going to hit that ball, man.
Every Tom, Dick, and Harry,
there would be a lot of angry
No,
people
I was
sitting around your desk, okay?
cooking. I swear, I was cooking some hot dogs.
And their computer got destroyed, or files got stolen, or
I
they
cooking
got
big
ransomed
food.
without realizing. But of course, VX Underground assumes that people coming over here have some level of intellect, and they definitely have.
Use this time for some target practice.
And
Real things coming soon.
Disclaimer: if you are going to buy something like this, or hell, download any sample off of the internet that is actual malware, that is on you. Okay, what you do on the internet is not. We are not legally liable for whatever dumb stuff you do. The only person that we're legally liable for who does dumb stuff on the internet is me.
Enemies
okay?
dropping into
So
the
VX
AO.
Underground sent this box to me, which was a Western Digital 8 terabyte Easy Store desktop HDD. Now, I think I paid for the 8 terabyte or 10. Not that I'm going to go out of my way to complain about it. I got what I paid for. They gave me a little letter over here, which I'm going to scan and show you on the screen as we read. Hello, thank you for
Enemies are dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
Collection. We appreciate your support, and we hope you enjoy the contents of the drive. I will. Please exercise.
Playtime's over. Stand by for deployment to the war zone.
Know this drive contains white papers on the development, reverse engineering, and detection of malware.
dust off. We're up in 3 mics. Let's move.
Malicious binaries.
Here we are.
Damage to your computer.
Head shed gave the green light. We're deploying you to the front lines. You're up. Grab your shoes. Enemy activity will be high. Expect contact early and often.
Spyware. The malicious binaries are not exclusive to Windows malware.
I'll see you on the other side. Battle Royale.
Malware which targets chastity belts. So you might be like, whoa, are you going to be careful running this? Look.
Gas is approaching on your position. Move to the safe zone.
So we are going to go.
Gas drop is en route.
So understand, some of the samples here are not going to be protected by methods that I've been routinely using on my channel. So here they list that they got 34,599 advanced versus dating back to 2010. They've got 170,000. The complete CompuLinks, which are their internal conversations, tools, etc., 11,596 papers on malware development, and 5.130 terabytes of malicious binaries. So, yeah, in between all of it, they've got things like the Twitter IOC collection, which are 40,000 binaries that were found on Twitter of all places. They've got the In the Wild collection, which is 1.9 million binaries they've gotten from online scraping. And of course, they've signed here Little Cheeser and Smelly VX. Well, thank you guys for your autograph.
Gas is inbound. Enemy on the move. Moving to my mark.
Here, but thank God I'll have this drive. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to be a little bit careful and open up the drive and explore this.
All
together.
squad members are in the safe zone.
Sandbox Linux platform. If you look right here, you can see this easy store link. We're going to hit yes on that. Here's Brian blurring up a little bit. Here it is. Woo! So this drive is telling you we've got install Western Digital software for Windows. Whatever that dog shit right there. And first things first, I just want to see what this consists of.
Secure the supply boxes. Locations are marked on your TAC map.
Obviously formatted for Windows. It's filled with up to 7.3. They're actually, they've got around 5 something terabytes. It's actually calculated 5.1 terabytes. It's total 7.3 terabyte file size for drive space. And you've got 3.1 terabytes.
Ain't that stupid to land over here.
We've got 5 folders, APTs, archives, malware, source code collections, papers, and samples. So if you open up the samples, you can see that they've
Supply
got
box
all
secured.
segregated
2 to go.
by the Twitter IOC collection from the wild, virus share. So if you go to Twitter IOC, you can see that these are highly complex folders, and opening one of them, they give you, here's the password. So the password should be infected. And of course, you can see all of these samples even further compressed down the throat. They're not necessarily that big. We're looking at like a couple megabytes at most, and some of them are sitting in the kilobytes. They are ultra compressed. So to understand, these are just, again, millions of malware sitting over here, waiting to be used. So beyond all of these malware...
One supply box remaining. Move and secure that daggone thing.
Things like Emirai botnet. If you're interested in understanding how that works, or you want to research onto it, well, this is the entire drive filled with all kinds of technical data. So if you were interested
All supply boxes secure. Contract complete.
Not that that information isn't available freely to download as well too.
but it's all part of the collection. So it's not just filled with malware samples and filled with some educational material. So for anybody that wants to learn stuff, you can start off figuring out things from here, right? Or at least if you're interested in the technical makeup of things. Yeah, look at this. If you wanted to figure out, if you wanted to learn like a using Notepad plugin, well, they got entire papers for you to sit down and read. So if you're somebody that's interested by this topic, this is like learning. This is a good resource to have sitting around. But of course, from what I understand, you can just download these anyway, so you don't have to spend all this money to get a drive. This is just me being... So right here, malware source code. So for instance, if you want to look at source codes for certain pieces of malware, you have them all right over here, so you can just pop one open and learn the intricacies and the nitty-gritty of how certain things are made. So all these MS-DOS viruses, you can start reading up on how things work. Now, this is assembly code. This is source code for some of the malware. This specifically is CANAP.
Loadout drop headed your way.
It's written in assembly code, so again, you're looking at it very low level. DOS assembly stuff right here. So if this interests you, there are actually channels that will explain how to do this. One of my favorites is...
Gas is closing in. Relocating the safe zone.
Explain how convoluted this can get. Programming Hello World is a 15-minute video. This malware itself, and back then for DOS malwares, this is what their source codes used to look like. Of course, if this interests you, you can look through how some of these old ancient viruses work, peek at the actual guts, and see what it's used to execute them, and generally what exploits it is taking advantage of at this time. So again, this is just DOS source code. There's obviously far more intricate malwares to look through here, but again, it's interesting. Feel free to play around with the source code, maybe even compile it, see if you can run it for yourself. Do what you want. The world is your oyster. Again, please play responsibly. Some of the stuff, while it can't damage you, alright, again, some of the more higher level viruses that you're looking around, which some of them are still used today in some variants, you probably want to be a bit careful with. Well, actually, even while doing, they've got
supply box is located. Move to secure. Gas is closing in.
Like federal indictments, motions to seal, all of it is actually available right over here. Not that I think I can show some.
All right, your squad's in the safe zone.
But they probably contain some serious personal information, and I probably don't want to be diving too deep into it. Conti, for those of you who have no idea, is a Russian group that primarily specialized in ransomware as a service category. We've looked at this before.
One supply box down. 2 remain.
Ask a ransom from
friendly UAV overhead.
Again, encrypting your data, and then also stealing it and then selling it for pieces. This was a truly evil organization in terms of, again, how they would victimize certain groups and certain,
2 supply boxes secured. 1 remaining.
So if you don't know, basically, these people provide the service, somebody hires them, and they skim a little bit of money off the top. Anyway, these consist of, again, their internal systems. Some of them actually consist of educational material, which is rather hilarious to watch, because it's literally filmed as if, like, this was literally designed to be played in some university course. The other things to look at are a set of email leaks, not just email leaks, but leaks. So if you know you're Russian, or you got a translator on hand, you can read exactly how these criminals communicate with each other as well, too. You know, there's so many leaked information as part of this actual hack collection that one could probably make a pretty good video showcasing the entire timeline of Conti as a group. And I'm joking about their training. I was kind of overselling it. At the end of the day, a lot of their training just comes
enemy
from
squad's hunting you. Stay
most
sharp.
people learn from. In this case, Pentester Academy is basically teaching them how to defend themselves, so to speak.
Hey, Pink, Pink, come here, Pink. Hey, get in the car and drive over here.
What they also provided are
drive over here.
tools for actual ransomware as well. If you wanted to build your own ransomware, you could not.
I just want to show you something. Come here.
You do that. That is bad, ladies and gentlemen. But what's interesting is some of the stuff that I was
Come over to the building.
researching for videos before, I actually found about that.
Contract complete. All supply boxes secure.
Hey, grab that most wanted. Grab that most wanted. Come over here. Grab that most wanted. Alright, come to this parking lot over here, yellow. To the bottom.
Being shot.
Come on, grab that most wanted.
Contract failed. Objective lost.
This is the first actual real gaming laptop that I ever actually managed to go get. Now, since then, I've upgraded to a different laptop. This is several years old. We're talking about a laptop that still has like a...
Your squad mate was sent to the gulag.
This is still running
Don't
on
fight for a
a
chance to redeploy.
with Windows 7. And at the end of the day, it's a laptop that I can actually, like, be fine.
Hey, you right here?
Completely stopped working on.
Hey, right here. Oh, no. No, you didn't.
The other thing over here is I'm turning off any form of antivirus software, malware, especially malware that has some years attached to it. These are going to be part of an AV definition file, because some of this malware is pre-2010. Obviously, Windows 7 has an idea of like this existing, and it's immediately going to stop it right here and then. So we're going to stop any form of antivirus from stopping any of our efforts to destroy this computer. And also, because if we don't turn off the antivirus, because there are so many pieces of malware sitting inside this system, this can actually destroy the system entirely, because it's literally parsing so many thousands at any given moment. It's not just malware, it's just that it's detected so many.
Gave it a solid try. Time to head back to base.
Turn off the antivirus. The other thing over here is we are not connecting to the internet. We are not connecting to a local area network. We are not connecting to a router. Shit, we are not even plugging the system into a capture card.
I'm trying to tell y'all to get the most one in, come over here, but I had to do it myself.
Again, I'm playing with some malwares that I haven't truly been given the time to properly assess. So we are keeping everything strictly air-gapped, meaning this is not touching my system, this is not connecting to any system.
I'm about to do it.
Thank you. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing in this game.
Very inaudible sound when your other system is recording it and parsing it. I've read the April Fool's joke. No, that's not happening. So, let's plug this into a system, go over there, and just start running some of these malwares together. Okay, so here it is. We've got an air-gapped computer sitting in the dark, as you can imagine. So I got some Dan OTT style of recording going on over here, a little cozy. But the reason for this is no virtual machine. This is actually a piece of solid hardware that I once used. And if you want to look at the specifications of it, this is obviously Windows 7. This is not Windows...
Enemy soldier incoming.
Windows 10, not Windows 11. Windows 7 will be too old. But to show you guys exactly what this computer is, going to the system properties here, 16 gigs of RAM, i7...
Your squad mate is in the gulag. If they survive, they redeploy.
Your virus... here it is. Your security intelligence version 0000. We're actually going to keep it that way. So we're going to go to virus and threat protection levels. We're going to go to the protection settings and just turn off all that real-time protection, okay? Just because we do not want anything.
Squad mate has been cleared for redeployment. Get the squad mate protected. Contract complete. Gas is closing in. Get to the new safe zone.
Like 5 terabytes of malware. Okay, so
hey, somebody land on me and grab it.
And I'm just gonna drag the drive a little closer, just so it doesn't fall and completely ruins the hard drive. I paid good money for it. And here we're going to plug in the drive. You can never plug in a USB the right way the first time. You always have to finagle it. Here it is. All right. So this drive is totally empty, completely virgin system. We are mounting the drive as we speak, and again, I must stress, there is no connectivity to any other device right now. This is, again, you don't want this to be connected, USB device not recognized, or your computer malfunction.
Come on,
this? There it is. Okay,
ready up! You're heading back out.
Disconnected it. But here it is. We've got Easy Store. We've got EX Underground. I'm sorry if it's a little tough to read.
Gas is moving.
Start firing off sample after sample after sample. We're basically going to kill this computer in front of us. So let's go to the Twitter IOC collection here. You can see some of these are 7-zip.
Be advised, you still have squad mates outside the safe zone.
Actually have 7-zip. Okay, we're going to fire up the network connection very briefly just to get 7-zip. Probably should be doing this. Okay, so instead of being completely stupid, I'm just going to get a flash drive here. I got 7-zip on that, just so we can actually use 7-zip. Actually, it's ideal that all the network adapter for this device do not come from.
Hey, follow me, yellow, follow me.
Great.
for now.
Hello, follow me.
Settings is working. Get that in yes. Install. Close. I hate trackpads, by the way. All right, let's go inside here and let's actually unpack the first Twitter IOC collection, okay? Because I'm sure it's going to be filled with some nasty, nasty, nasty samples. So, for instance, extracting some of these, you can see that the numbering, like the scheme on them, it's just basically their checksum, and usually you have to actually turn these into binary. So, for instance, this is FL. We're just going to hit accept on this one, and we've already launched God knows what malware.
All right, Yellow, follow me back out. Let's go.
System, ladies and gentlemen. It is not looking pretty. And again,
your squad mate has entered the gulag. They'll need to survive to redeploy.
Library docs. So again, library docs, if you actually go to like the properties of it, right, this is just an application. It's absolutely filled with like malware, that's for sure, 100%. And what it's going to be doing to the system can be a variety of things, okay? It could be trying to connect to some server, because this is, again, really legacy software. But it is sitting and running on the system, as you can see. It's consuming 30 megabytes of memory.
Your squad mate won the fight. They're redeploying now.
Exactly how bad things really are. But again, we can just keep unpacking more and more malware.
Be advised, an enemy squad is tracking your location.
Files actually do end up really sizable, man. Like, some of these are actually reaching like 77 megabytes. So again, if we open it up, there's some, no, sorry, it's 71 kilobytes. So again, open that shit up.
Gas is moving in. New safe zone located.
I don't even know what I want. But again, this is, again, may I remind you, don't actually be doing this. And again, you can see the system is starting to consume more and more memory. So what I'm going to do now is just remove this drive. And again, I'm not entirely certain that everything on there is totally flagged. But again, we've got many people.
Man, stop your worrying, I got you.
This is literally made by like an Israeli cybercomms company. Like, they literally have created this piece of malware that, by the way, was used to, in my understanding, attack drones for cellular devices and basically
gas is inbound.
That were encrypted around the world. So these two pieces of
no more fighting in the gulag.
Here, one of them is hiding itself with WinRAR. Okay?
Some of your squads outside the safe zone.
Switch to 7, and the other one seems to be hiding itself. File serves as a driver of North Korean power. What? What the fuck? Look at that. File serves as a driver of North Korean power. This is North Korean power on my system, bitch. It's made by Kim Jong-un. That's the developer. Jesus Christ. No, I'm not even kidding. Hold on. Show on the camera. Wait. Highlight it. Yeah, the company is Kim Jong-un. Hold on, fire it up. So now we use the Maze ransomware too. And they're not Maze ransomware, we just have Maze malware, and oh my. Oh, shit!
Alert. Tom. Alert. Dear Tom, your files have been encrypted by Maze ransomware. Attention. You need to buy Decryptor in order to restore the files. Tom. Alert. Tom. Alert.
That really scared me. I'm not even joking. I didn't even expect that.
Maze ransomware.
Oh my god. Oh my god, they actually did it. Kim Jong-un grabbed it, dude. He grabbed my system. Allied Universal Maze ransomware. We hacked your network and now all your files.
You've got gas inbound. Safe zone relocated. Enemies dropping into the AO.
Alright, Kim's quiet now. What happened? We hacked your
contract failed. Stand down.
Photos, databases, and other
25 are left. Stay sharp out there.
Reliable algorithms. You cannot access the files, but don't worry. You have a chance to get it back. It is easy to recover in a few steps. We have also downloaded a lot of data from your network. How, bitch? We ain't connected. Back out of here, Kimmy.
Enemy buy station incoming. Gas is closing in.
This is a special block with the personal confidential information. Don't touch it.
Get your squad to the safe zone. No one gets left behind.
What happened over here is because we ran one piece of ransomware, it's actually grabbed every single one of these files and converted them to MWCB, UHV, TGW file, like these random file patterns that obviously are encrypted files. I can't get anything back. This is why you don't connect your sample drives over here. And again, here's the thing. Even if I, like that USB drive that I had connected, that alone
Again, this exe file is still you know what? Actually, this is completely jumped out right now. So what we gotta do is
Gas is closing in. Relocating the safe zone.
This
and remaining.
needs to be
Keep pushing.
properly sterilized too, because I don't know what this malware did exactly. So this one we're actually taking effective fire into the dirty bin for now, until of course things are good. And the reason why you want to make sure everything is isolated, because if you decided to plug this into an actual Windows,
how is that one?
Gas is moving. Only 10 were left. The enemy took that one, but we'll get them back. Gas is inbound, marking a new safe zone. Losing ground. Move it.
Call of Duty's broken. No, I don't. No, I don't want to do safe mode, stupid bitch. You're a stupid bitch, and I didn't want to do safe zone. You're a stupid bitch. Retry. Pick up the steam. Pick up the dream. Battle Royale squads on a drop in now. Oh, what you got now? Listen now.